Yo, welcome back. Return of the Mac. M.A.C. Moss, Andrew, Carl. Back in the building for crew.
Hey, what's up?
What's happening?
I miss you guys,
been a
man.
long
Miss
time.
you too, big
Well,
bro.
welcome to the crib. It was your first party at the crib.
Yeah, first
you know
time.
what I'm saying?
Damn, I
First
forgot
time
about
coming
that.
through.
I feel like we've been here mad times.
Yeah.
Man. It's like
New guy.
Yeah.
Who's
Special
the
guest
new
today.
guy?
I'm the guest.
Special guest today. Word in the building.
For sure, man. I'm here locked in. What's up? What's up?
Oh, good, bro.
What's been going on this week, fellas?
What's been going on? Oh, it's Thanksgiving coming up.
Yeah, Thanksgiving coming up right around the corner.
Holiday.
son.
Yeah, getting geared up, man.
Yeah,
I'm hyped for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, this is the first year I'll be.
Short work week for me.
Oh, nice.
Same.
You off. Big off.
No
huh?
work.
Chilling.
No work.
That's hard.
Yeah, man. I gotta get ready. This is the first year we'll be serving Thanksgiving dinner at my house.
Well, it's going down.
so,
It's going
you know,
down.
That's what's up.
Got the cuisine.
Yeah. I'm building my menu and stuff. I went, grocery shopping, did all of that shit.
Yeah.
So, start off probably cooking. Maybe I'll probably cook some stuff tomorrow night, but really get it in on Wednesday. Have everything ready.
You ever done a turkey?
No, I've never
I
done it.
haven't either. I would be nervous about that.
I feel like I'm pretty skilled in the kitchen. So the shit's pretty simple. You just watch a few people do it, and then I've seen people do it throughout my life too. So I'm gonna apply that to that kind of stuff to it while I do it, and then as long as everything's cooked, as long as it's done and not dry, then I think you should be all right from at that point. So
You frying the turkey?
No, I ain't got that kind of equipment, bro.
I was
fried
wondering the
turkey
same
before?
thing.
Yo,
Yeah,
that fried turkey is second to none. I don't
shit
even
slap.
like turkey. If it was up to me, I would not cook one.
No,
Right.
I told my mom that because
fried turkey
we
lit.
always go down to North Carolina. We're just staying here. It's just going to be 4 of us. So she was like, "What do y'all want?" I'm obviously not going to make anything. I'm not going to make as much food as usual.
Right.
I was like, "Yeah, we don't need turkey at all. Get a burger if you want for real." They're going to do a turkey anyway. But I would really prefer ham
I
in
do.
general.
I like
if I was
ham.
having to choose.
Yeah, I do the ham. I don't.
Country ham.
So I'm frying
You like that
chicken.
country ham?
So
You like country ham?
I do.
I don't like country ham like that.
I grew up on country ham.
That
so
shit
I
too
do.
salty, bro.
That shit salty
That shit
as a
extra
motherfucker.
salty.
As a brine like
Give
a
me
motherfucker.
a good old honey
yeah.
baked ham, regular old honey baked ham. Good.
I
like
like
that
both. I mean, and my dad like I don't know. He get that. I feel like his country ham super salty. It's another level.
That shit extra.
Yeah, so. But I like it though. I fuck with it. Just a little bit though. A little bit of the country ham.
You can't go too hard.
I hear that.
I wonder who came up with this shit. Like, let's just salt the fuck out of this ham.
No idea, son.
We love that salt, bro.
Yeah.
We love that salt.
Yeah.
Killing our community.
Yeah, number one killer. One of them killers, man.
Shit.
For sure.
That shit
For
crazy.
sure. Salt and sugar. Sugar's probably worse though.
Yeah, that's the worst one.
Yeah.
The combination, though.
Yeah.
But we're
a
gonna get a
hell of a
whole
tag.
lot of that shit
That's
on
a hell of a
Thanksgiving.
tag
And
team.
that's like the fucked up thing
get it
about it if you really think about it and shit.
Mm.
Like, of course, it's the time for families to come together and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's really the time where we killing each other because we eating all of this stuff. Like, all
that
of this
Destroyed
fucked
the
up
whole
thing.
holiday that quick. How we get here?
Yeah, I don't think so. Now you're on one right now because it's not like we healthy any other day.
I mean, no
It ain't no
doubt.
thing.
But I mean, we eat.
We're just enjoying each other's company
it's
in
like
already unhealthy
gluttonous,
meals.
though.
So it's a day.
But that's like a sin, right?
That's like a
And
sin.
I mean, isn't it though? Like
Yeah.
it's gluttony, and then
What they do with the Last
when
Supper?
then
They
at
had
that
to eat.
point, we're not eating anything that's actually good for us.
All right. Well, I mean, if you don't want to
It's-
do
it's
Thanksgiving, then don't do it.
I mean, no,
It's
let's
got
do
to
it.
ruin it
It's
for everybody.
tradition.
It's trying to
tradition.
ruin it
I'm
for
gonna make my
everybody.
plate.
Let's just be real about what it is, though. Like we're gluttonous, and we're really just showing it off for one day.
This is America.
All right. Whatever makes you feel better. Thanksgiving
eat.
is fire. Everybody comes together, enjoys good food, good fellowship. It is what it is.
Yeah.
No doubt.
It ain't no thing.
Yeah,
Damn
no
right.
doubt.
Damn right.
Yeah.
What else from this past week, though? I'm sure we'll cover Thanksgiving again on Monday next week. Anything going on last week?
Nothing too crazy.
Past
for real.
weekend or anything?
No, man.
chilling.
No, just spending a lot of time with the family.
Yeah.
That was cool. I got time, like a chance to spend a lot of time with my dad's side of the family. So that was dope.
They around here too?
Most of them are. Some of them like from Atlanta,
Okay.
that area down south or whatever. So they came up and then we kicked the chill. I don't really get a lot of chances to kick it with them and stuff. So it was cool.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's pretty much it though.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I told y'all all I had from this past week. I went down to Charlotte this week to go see Max. Any of y'all listeners that were listening from the beginning, our
Yeah.
old co-host
For
Max.
sure. Shout out.
We had a good
Max.
time. It was just kicking it. His birthday's coming up, so we just went down there, got food and stuff, and went out to some putt-putt spot. Charlotte's really beautiful.
Yeah, it's a really
good
nice
city.
city.
I really am. I
city.
would have no interest in being like in a really big city, but Charlotte is like perfect because it's not quite that.
Yeah, it's like that mid-level big
Yeah,
city.
and you can
And
be
it's
just
not-
outside of the city,
Right,
and you're
it's not
really not even in the city
condensed.
anymore at that point.
Right, it's not like super condensed like where I guess like New York
Yeah,
is
New York, Chicago,
and
LA,
DC.
like,
It's so many fucking people.
right.
It's like I guess just heading down south and big city down south is
Country
different
city,
from
yeah.
big city up north. So
sure.
that's how I
More
interpret
land.
it though.
What's that?
More land.
Yeah, I mean I
True.
guess yeah.
Just straight
More
up
land.
space.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
space
right.
to spread your shit out a little bit.
Trees. Let's start there.
But we had a good time. The wildest thing happened though Sunday morning. So Max and his girl, they were gonna go to church. He was like, "You coming with us if you want to?" I decided to go. We get to church, or we're leaving church, and I got a text from an old friend of mine. Used to be my roommate. I haven't talked to him in years. He said, "Are you in Charlotte?" And I'm like, "Yo, he had to be at church. Or you're not gonna just ask me after not talking for years if I'm
Right.
in Charlotte right now." Last I heard, this dude lived in Northern Virginia. So anyway, long story short, I called him. He was like, "Yo, I thought I saw you at church, but I wasn't sure. You had crazy long hair." I was like,
Yeah.
"Nah, that ain't it." So
Switch the whole flow up.
yeah, find out it's my boy. He was like, "I don't know what y'all are doing today. Let me know if y'all are just hanging out." He ended up coming out to lunch with us, and then he got to lunch. We were already there, and I went to go meet him, show him where the table was at, and we start walking back to the table, and he's like, "Wait, we going back there with that dude? I know that dude. His name is Max or Matt or something like that." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yo, he's in my small group at church."
Small world, bro.
Crazy, son.
That's
So we
funny.
ended up having a really good time. It was dope. I got to basically regain an old friend for real because we
Word.
just kind of lost contact.
Yeah,
There wasn't any
yeah.
problems or anything. And then apparently
up?
him and Max are probably end up being boys now too, since they all go to church in the same
Right,
small group and
right,
everything.
right.
It's just
Small
crazy,
world.
son.
That's- yeah,
Be
that's how it works
totally
out.
down in Charlotte, not expecting to see nobody I know at all, and then that happens. But
Yeah. That shit
Yeah,
be
man.
crazy.
other than that, good weekend. I can't
Yeah.
complain.
No, that's
shit.
what's up. Sound like
Good
y'all tapped in on the same frequencies
We did.
over there.
We did.
Something like that.
You know,
That's
those
what it
frequency vibes as you came through the door.
Yeah, I could tell.
We on frequencies.
I feel like I'm on a spiritual journey.
Oh,
I hear
okay. Okay.
So maybe you might see a different, well, not different, more enlightened Carl
Oh yeah,
in the near future. You never know.
is that a thing?
funny.
Are we gonna see this?
I hope so. I don't know.
More
I don't know.
enlightened. I don't
You
even know
wanna
what
spend-
that means, really. What does that mean?
I don't know, bro. I'm trying to increase my frequency level, bro. My vibrations.
Okay. We dropped the
Trying to get to the
frequencies
highest level of that. I can't really explain it. You know what I'm saying? But
feel
it's
it.
so many things
again.
I
Oh, you
gotta
gotta
do.
feel it. You can't explain. You just gotta feel it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I understand.
I'm trying to break some barriers out here. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hoping he's gonna expand on this one of these days. I'm not gonna push you right now, but we gotta love.
When I get there, I'll expand upon it. But right now, it's just a journey. You know.
Oh, it just
That's
ends the
dope.
journey.
Ain't nothing wrong with a journey. I think I'm on one myself.
There you go. Hell yeah.
I am
What you
Yeah.
looking for? Do you know what you're looking for?
I got it.
myself.
Oh yeah, right. That's
That
a
was
deep
good
journey.
answer, right? That was a good
That's
answer,
a deep.
right?
That's a deep journey, bro.
All right, well, I was going to mix this in later, but since we're already here on this kind of topic anyway,
All right.
I watched this documentary a couple nights ago on Netflix called Stutz. It's a Jonah Hill joint.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all have seen it on there. Just got added like within the last week or two.
Watch the trailer.
Stutz is the dude's name. It's his therapist, Phil Stutz, I think is this guy's name. The idea of the documentary was he wanted to do a documentary about his therapist. I started to watch it. I saw the trailer, and the trailer was just really interesting. I started to watch it, and I think it's the best documentary I've ever seen in my life. It could just be like that it got to me personally or whatever, because it certainly did.
Yeah.
But it was just, it's done so incredibly well. Like from like an actual cinematography documentary type thing.
Yeah.
Jonah Hill is just really good. But the whole doc is just, it's so fucking raw, and it's just dope seeing their relationship kind of stuff. But I would recommend it to anybody and everybody, because I don't think it's not like specific to depression, anxiety, health, mental health type stuff. He kind of the therapist guy that it's about kind of walks through like a 10-step process that he's developed, and the way he does it, like while he's listening to his patient or whatever, he's not writing down notes like about what they're saying, like kind of what you usually think of with a therapist.
Yeah.
He's drawing these little pictures on a note card. So he's like doing illustrative kind of way of explaining how to handle or address whatever they're talking about.
Yeah.
So it's just the craziest thing. I've never seen it like illustrated the way that he did, in a really practical sense of just how you can kind of better control when you're dealing with grief, depression, anxiety, all the other type stuff, or all kinds of different things. So,
do you have an example of anything?
like the illustration wise,
Right.
I
Is it
don't.
like the dude on the strip that do the caricatures when you sit right there and talk to you and make it look.
No, not like a picture of them.
No, right.
That's what I'm thinking of.
No.
Like the little characters.
Yeah, I don't have a
funny.
good example of the picture type stuff, to be honest with you.
Okay.
After we finish, I'll send you just the trailer. I think that'll explain it better than what I'm doing right now. But I'm telling you, when I started watching, I was just like curious. It was late at night. I was just curious to put something on. But when I started watching, he was just making so much sense. Like I sat here and took notes on all the 10 points that he made and stuff. And like I plan to watch this again. I was gonna watch it last night. I didn't get to, but like I'm gonna watch it again this week. It's fucking legit. I'm not gonna be able to explain it any better than that. If you have any interest at all, check the trailer.
I fuck with Jonah Hill.
Yeah, Jonah Hill's he's a beast. I think he transitioned really well from his like early I'm a comedian, young teenager type of dude to like being an actual actor.
Right.
Moneyball and shit. Like he killed that role. I'm having a hard time thinking of
He's
other
like
serious roles.
the actor version of Mac Miller or something.
Why you say that?
That
He
makes sense to me.
He like came into the game on this goofy, funny kid shit, and then he like bloomed into this
I get
introspective, I'm in my own wave type of. Like it's like the same shit.
Nah, I'm with
like
you.
when I think about it,
I'm with you. That makes a lot of sense.
Mac Miller was the funny, happy-go-lucky rapper guy, that could kick some rhymes, and then he started making like basically R&B albums. But by the time before he passed, that's just crazy.
when he first popped on that Donald Trump joint, just talking college party rap, and then I remember like a couple of albums,
Asher Roth type style,
basically. Yeah, I remember he put out. I think it's Watching Movies with the Sound Off, I think was the name of the title. And he's like rapping.
Yeah.
The whole album, like super.
Yeah, going in.
Like deep, I don't want to say deep bars, but like complex bars. I was like, y'all didn't even know this dude could rap like that.
Right.
Shit great.
But anyway, we get into new music though.
Okay.
While we're talking about Mac Miller.
Get it.
Nice heat drop this week.
Yeah, you gotta tell the people what you've been calling this 2-pack, if you will.
Oh, the Roderick twins.
The Roderick
twins dropped together.
I like that.
Mr. Roderick Wavington and Mr. Roderick Rich.
Richington.
I
like that.
Roddy Richington. Feed the Streets 3, yo. It's here. We're waiting on it. Did y'all hear it? Check it out.
I've not heard one song from it, except for the little bit that I listened to.
I could tell. Y'all probably ain't listen to Rod Wave either. This might be the first Rod Wave album, but y'all ain't said shit about it.
I listened to a few tracks.
Well, it's a short little EP. It's like 7 songs, right?
Yeah, it's not long.
Yeah. Like,
I will certainly get to it.
Do it. I feel like he don't drop too often.
I feel like it's like once a year.
He'll once a year type dropper.
Yeah.
Maybe an album and an EP at best per year.
Right.
But what you think about Feed the Streets 3?
He did his thing. That shit hard. I fuck with it. My initial listening to it, I was a little worried. I just like skimmed through it real quick. I was like, I don't know. But I kept playing it back, had it in the headphones, played it in the car. I was like, oh, nah, it's that. It's that. Yeah, he came with it. He back on the shit.
Any recommendations off the album?
Off the album, What I got off the top, that King Size and Heavier, both of them songs is hard. That Favor for a Favor is hard. First, of course, that Aston Martin truck, he dropped that shit a couple weeks ago. Get Swept. And he was talking some shit on here. Like that Get Swept record, he was basically talking about like what he was going through after he made that dropped that last album, got all that backlash, and how he was going through a whole bunch of behind the scenes shit. And basically said he was like taking time off because he didn't want to keep rapping about the same shit. Because all he had to shit was to talk about was like bad shit that was happening around his life or whatever. So he was like, he just had to wait it out. He had some bars talking about that shit. How he was just waiting it out so he could talk about some better shit than what was going on in his life. So, I don't know. Maybe he was going through some shit.
I see he got a couple features on there. Got Lil Durk.
Yeah.
And Ty Dolla $ign, the only two features. I respect that.
Light. It's all him.
How back
that's
is
how I
he?
like.
I need to quantify this because I'll be honest. When you
How
first
back?
responded to how was the album, you're like, yeah, it was
was
good.
I
But
still
as you
be like-
continued, you sounded more confident. So I need a better gauge. 1 to 10. Are you back?
1 to 10, I give him about a 7.5, 8.
Okay.
Of being back.
That's good.
solid.
I'll take
A
that.
7.5, 8. I think it definitely has some room to grow. I think it could still be better, get back to another level. But I still think he needs to do a whole project with Mustard producing. Because I feel like him and Mustard have never missed.
Right.
And I was going through these tracks, I like to check the credits, see who producing and all this shit. Mustard only got like 1 track on the album. I'm like, why? Like, and that one track is hard. It's that joint on, what's it called? Pressure. It's like track 13 out of 15. Pressure hard. I was like, yo, why don't he just do a whole album that Mustard produce? Every time they do a record, it should go.
I've always wanted this. Like, yeah, they go together well.
I don't understand.
I think I asked y'all this last time we were talking about it, but was he not the full producer on the first joint? That Blue?
No, but a lot of the bigger records he was producing on.
Gotcha.
The ones that people love the most, he was producing on.
Okay.
But
that
he
makes
still
sense.
hasn't done a full project for him now.
Yeah, that is weird. I don't know why you wouldn't just make that
That's
happen.
what make it weirder, because he's signed to him.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's his artist. So it's
That's
like, why haven't
crazy.
you produced the whole project for him yet? Every time y'all go, it go. I don't understand. But hey, so that's what I was like kind of let down on, because I'm like, yo, they must have got to add more tracks on here. But it was hard for what it was. The tracks was hard, beats was hard. He did his thing. So I ain't mad at it. It wasn't a bad album. It wasn't like the last one, of course.
Right.
Which I
I'm
still
definitely
think
going to check this
people
one
need
out.
to go back and listen to the album. It wasn't as bad
Wasn't
as
as
people
bad.
made it was. He got some
wasn't.
joints on there.
Yeah, it wasn't.
He got some joints on there.
It just wasn't.
People just he set that
Spectacular.
bar. He set
Yeah,
that bar
right,
too
right,
so
right.
high.
And
it
he waited
wasn't that.
too long.
It wasn't
It was that
impressive.
combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
I'm definitely
I'll
gonna check
listen
this
to
one.
it.
I mean, I like Roddy a lot. I told y'all when I was riding in the car, I was just trying to listen to the classics. I was rapping, so I wasn't listening to new music. But both the Rodricks will be getting spins this week for sure.
Definitely, bro. Definitely.
I did skim through Rod Wave's album. I just haven't listened to a lot of music in general at all here recently.
It's not on your frequency.
Yeah. It lowers my frequency, so
Feel that.
I'm trying to. Seriously though, but no, but I haven't listened to a bunch of it. But I did skim through the Rod Wave shit. It sounded pretty good. I like the first track a lot. He released that as a single, "Breaking My Heart."
We reacted to that last week.
Oh, okay. I mean,
Yeah.
that sounds like a pretty good. He's got like a, I don't know. He's from what I heard anyway. It's not necessarily the Rod Wave or the Rod Wave songs I like most. It seems like I didn't hear it anyway. I like that kind of like more aggressive style, or like growl tone ish. Rod Wave. I didn't hear a bunch of that, but maybe I just got to go back. I did only like skim through listening to it. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah,
in
I
full
listened
depth,
to it.
so.
There's a few of them joints like that on there.
Yeah, it probably is, but I
That
just missed
MJ
it.
story. It's
Yeah.
a hard record.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie.
I'll have
What
to
is
go
that
back and
about?
listen to it.
What's it about? All the MJs.
This is why
Well,
I'm
both
just,
the MJs.
This is like the third week in a row that we've had an album drop with MJ in the
is.
title,
That
and
is
I
true.
can't help but notice the
Something going
pattern
on.
right now.
Something going up. Well,
Jeezy was the first one. What was the second one?
Because the 40th anniversary of Thriller is this
Nas.
year, so it's like maybe people just know then what this year is type shit.
Okay,
But
that's what it
that's
was.
another
Jeezy,
discussion.
Nas,
Essentially happened with
and
Chris
this.
Brown and the AMAs with that shit, which is crazy. He's supposed to be doing a performance.
Yeah,
the
what was
AMAs
up? Why
are
they
the 40th
cut-
anniversary,
why
and
they cut
they
the
cut
Michael
it like the day
Jackson
before. I think the AMAs are tonight, or were they last night? I think they were last night.
I didn't hear about
And they like cut it like a day before, 2 days before the show.
he did the performance and they just cut it from.
Yeah, he had been practicing, doing rehearsal. He was going to do the performance live on the show for Michael Jackson, and they dropped that shit right before the show.
Oh, so he didn't perform.
No, he did.
Okay,
they took
I got you.
They didn't have the tribute or nothing.
What the heck?
Which is wild.
That is weird.
I don't understand.
You haven't seen any follow up today about it?
Nothing. I mean, people was outraged about it. They was talking shit about it, but it's like they didn't give a fuck. I don't know what he did. Chris Brown been chilling too.
Well, I mean, you still think you would at least
related?
have some kind of acknowledgement of Michael Jackson, though.
Yeah.
This is probably the greatest
cut
artist
the whole
of all
thing
time.
out?
He's certainly the greatest pop artist of all time.
Yeah, I understand, but that's just wild. But maybe that got something to do with it, why everybody's dropping a MJ song on their album. It is weird. It's 3 weeks in a row.
There's nothing in the... Even like in recent news, there's not even any updates still.
Told y'all, bro.
That's
You wonder why his numbers down. Blackballing Chris Brown out here. He can't even do his Michael Jackson tribute. Like, why would y'all get him rehearsing to do it and then cut it days before? Like, something like had to happen like this week, it seemed like behind the scenes.
Yeah, I don't...
That's why I would think. I don't know.
I have no guesses. I got to see what the response is. I got to see
everybody remember what was
the
the BET Awards when Chris Brown did that MJ tribute years ago? You remember that shit, Word?
Yeah, he did that. That was after he beat up Rihanna.
Was it after that or was it before that?
Yeah, it was after.
It was after that. When he was crying on the stage and shit?
Yeah. It was after. It was like,
he bodied that shit, though.
Yeah, it was a great
bodied that shit,
I mean, only he can do that.
Yeah.
Maybe he was planning on singing You Are Not Alone or something like that, and they was like, well, you can't do that one because R. Kelly wrote that song. So maybe that's why they cut that shit.
That's a wild
I don't know.
It's a guess.
That's a guess. I'm just gonna
That's
throw
a
it out
wild
there.
reason.
I got
but that
nothing.
shit crazy, though. I understand.
That is weird.
Anyway, back to
I
Rob.
don't get it. Yeah, they got to do something for Michael Jackson. Put some respect on that man's name.
Yeah, bro. What we talking about?
I don't get it. I got to hear more. I got to hear more what the reason was. What did you think of Rod Wave?
I was pleasantly surprised.
I was going to say, I caught another positive tone on that.
Pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, definitely.
I
It was a
interested.
few of the earlier that got it right joint, and the answer is no. I like them joints a lot. And the MJ store. He got some hard records on there. I like that. It wasn't as sad to me. It was a bunch of not as sad records.
Got you.
I was like, when it came on, it was like, oh shit, this shit hard. Like, it was a few of them joints.
He said he was going to get away from that. I don't believe that.
I can hear it.
I don't
If
believe
that's what he
but-
said.
but maybe
I mean,
that's
it's a
the
few of them
case.
that's still sad. Like, he's still in the sad bag on a few of them.
Yeah.
But there's certain tracks where he's like, all right, this is more like, all right, I can ride around to this and not feel bad afterwards.
Interesting. I mean, I was going to check this one for sure, but
Yeah. Well, it sounds
That's
good.
what's up.
I ain't mad at it. I'm coming along. If you just keep doing that, I fuck with that. Just can't get with all the sad songs.
Rod Wave the truth, though.
sad
He
crooner.
the truth for real. He like that. I like his stuff a lot. But like I said, I just have to spin it back. Again, it's not going to take long, though. Again, it's this playback value is top tier, honestly.
there's nobody that I listen to more than Rod Wave.
Yeah. You said that all the time.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's kind of ridiculous.
He would probably be third on my list. But
Kodak and who?
I probably listen to Lil Papa more than
Got
Rod
you.
Wave. So.
Well, that kind of brings us to our reaction song for this week.
Oh, yeah. That's good timing.
We got Lil Papa. You remember the name?
It's, I know it's featuring ESTG.
Bring It Back.
There you go.
Bring It Back, Lil Papa featuring ESTG. We're going to pause for a second, check the song, get you a live reaction. If you want to check it out, do the same. I like that joint. I like Lil Papa.
Yeah.
I still think outside of, I don't even count Rod Wave, of the little young rappers that you've shared with us and put us on.
Yeah.
Lil Pop is by far the one that I like the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he makes good music.
He does, man. Like I said, I think pretty much. I really don't. He might make songs that you might necessarily don't care for as much, but he's just one of those rappers that I really like him. I guess to like it's different style, but like to an early T.I.-ish when they just don't make bad songs. Like early on T.I., every song was just a good song. It's just like he had a perfect flow for the song. It's just every song that Lil Papa makes is a good song. It got content behind it as well too. So, I just enjoy him as an artist, man. Overall, I think he's good with his hook game. His verses are pretty solid for the most part. Like I said, it's filled with content. So, this is one of my favorite artists, no doubt. Behind it.
That song was hard. that shit came on. ESTG went off. I like that hook on that joint. That shit was riding. That shit was riding.
Dude.
It'd be hard. He still don't do nothing that like stands out to me. It still seems like I don't think any song you didn't play by him been like a bad song. It's been good songs, but nothing really like stands out like to differentiate them to me. So I mean, but that shit hard. If you make good records like that, you know, something gonna pop for you.
Yeah, we'll see what happens for him eventually. But you know, he got his little fan base and it's growing steadily. So
yeah,
it just might take him a while. But he's still a really young artist. I think he's only like 22. So he still got time and stuff like that.
He got to find his niche.
Yeah, to keep moving in the game or whatever. But that was cool. Yeah, I called it a cute.
Yeah, what was that bar you was laughing at?
A cute bar in there where he was like, my squad full of ditties. They just take that down rap or something like that. That was cute. I thought.
I don't know if it's ever good if your bars get called cute, but
I thought it was cute.
He chuckled. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that was a cute little bar.
No, I think Moss. I think that's a good description of it because even though I do like him a lot, I couldn't tell you like any of his songs.
Right.
I would know a couple as they come on, but like nothing stands out to me. Like, yo, that's the Lil Papa joint. You got to go check out. I see his name and I'm like, yeah, put it on. I like that.
If anybody were to ask me,
what would your favorite Lil Papa song be?
I would tell you to probably
got you, bro.
Probably God's Hands is definitely one of my favorite ones.
But I already heard God did.
Huh?
I already heard God did.
No, you gotta listen to God's Hands. That's a really, really, really good song. The World Is Yours. That's one of my favorite Lil Papa songs.
Did he sample Nas?
No, that's Nas, bro. What you talking about?
Is it a sample?
No, it's not a sample. It's not
kind of cooler.
And these are recent too. Another Way. I can listen to that shit all day. Really, I mean, he got a lot of songs out there. He got a pretty good catalog. And every album's gonna have something on there that you like a lot. Internal Living featuring Polo G. It's probably his biggest record that he got. That's a really, really good song. He also has a track with Quando Rondo. That's it's Been Through. That's probably one of the best hooks you'll hear from Lil Papa. That's a really, really, really good song. So those would probably be the ones I recommend most. But yeah, it's just the artist you put him on. He gonna have your head nodding for sure.
Watch that guy Quando Rondo. He in the middle of too much shit.
Yeah, I don't
Every time I hear his name come up, I was like, oh, you gotta look at it.
All I know is problems.
Yeah, some problems going on.
I don't know. I don't fuck with Quando Rondo like that. I have heard some songs that I like of his a little bit, but for the most part, I don't listen to him at all. But he just happens to be on that song.
Is this the first album he dropped after he signed with what's his name?
No, it's actually the second album he's dropped.
Who's that one?
Yeah, he's got it.
Oh, Lil Papa, okay.
CMG. It's the second album he's dropped. He dropped one earlier this year called Blessed, I guess.
Okay.
Like at the beginning of the year.
I forgot God picked him. I forgot about that.
Yeah, the EST being on it is
right.
Makes sense now.
What made me think of it.
Right.
Damn, I feel like I was about to ask you something else. I can't even remember. I have no idea. But you mentioned Quando Rondo, and like he said, I always just think trouble. I don't even know who he rides with. I just know he's got problems with everybody, which leads me to what the hell is going on with NBA Youngboy and NoCap?
Yeah, I was gonna bring it up when you said something about Quando.
I read their comments to each other, and I don't remember exactly what they said. Do you remember the gist of it? Because they went really hard. Both of them went hard in their responses.
It's really just a situation where NoCap is signed to NBA Youngboy's label. NBA, of course, never broke again. But they're not cool with each other. Apparently, NBA don't fuck with him. He don't really fuck with him either. Like NoCap don't fuck with him either. So I think it's just a situation like that. But I mean, NBA went kind of hard. He was saying like,
but before NBA responded, from what I remember, whatever NoCap initially said didn't even seem like it was a bad thing. Do you remember what he said? It was kind of like NBA is just not super involved.
A fan asked him why he don't do nothing with Youngboy, and he was just like, "Man, bro got his own stuff going on right now. I'm trying to grow myself."
Yes.
All he said was literally, "I'm trying to grow myself. I don't want it to be like, he put me on or nothing." And I was like, back when I was talking about like the Drake feature, some artists don't want to feel like somebody put them on. They want to feel like they worked to get there, and then
y'all said he signed to him though, right?
Right, but he don't want to feel like you know, him
literally
getting a
putting you
feature.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he is, but
the
I
thing
think that
is-
was his nice way of kind of going about it.
It was. He was no cap was capping. No cap was capping like
that's
crazy.
some cap right there. You can't be signed to the dude and be like, I don't want it to seem like you trying to put me on, so I ain't doing
Well,
it.
Well,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
Like what?
NBA goes off, and you can tell us a little bit more about what he said. But NBA goes off on him, and then No Cap's response was basically like, "I was trying to give a nice answer, like
Yeah.
you're signed to me, you don't help none at all." Was kind of his response. But what was
Right.
NBA went nuts
so he was
first?
trying to avoid saying what it really
Yeah,
is.
he was
NBA
trying to be the
just
nice guy.
You a worker, bitch. You ain't my homie.
Oh, he got to change his name then. All cap. He's all cap now.
Yeah, I guess maybe. But yeah, he was trying to keep it cordial or whatever, since they are, you know, together
Right.
or supposed to be like that. But NBA just kind of snapped and just pretty much was like, I don't fuck with you, bitch. You a worker.
Yeah, I'm mad you got me
and all of
to
this,
type
blah, blah,
stories and keep posting them.
Yeah, I
That shit
don't
is
get
wild.
that, yo.
Y'all typing stories back to each other, back and forth
Right.
to each other.
Like, why not put that shit in a text message directly to that person?
Yeah,
I feel
just
like
go
that
ahead
shit will
and
hold
send it to
more
him.
weight. And that way I can really talk to you how I want to. So, you know, it's like serious and it's like, I don't know. This is like internet games.
It
to
takes
me.
out all the clout, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah.
you're right. There is a better way to handle this, but there's a reason why it's being done in the way that it's done. Garners
probably-
more attention. It
it's
gets a
probably,
little extra tough
yeah.
guy on you.
It's probably as close as he's gonna get to getting the Youngboy feature now is this beef. This little internet
Probably.
beef.
Yeah, I guess so.
Probably so.
And then I
It's
guess
just dead
Youngboy
now.
and Quando is supposed to be dropping a tape here soon. But I think that the issue, like, behind the scenes is just that, like, No Cap really, he kind of distanced himself from all the, like, beef affiliation, like,
Ooh.
that Quando, Rondo, and
Gotcha.
NBA got going on and shit. Like, he ain't really want to get involved in the Dirk beef and all. Yeah,
Smart
right.
man.
He like, shit, I got to keep my industry ties because, like, after you, I don't know nobody. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, particularly if you're not even helping.
right. And if
The
you
fuck
ain't
do I
doing-
owe you for?
Exactly. So he like, shit, I got to keep my connections and, like, these mother ain't nobody in the industry fucking with NBA, but they fuck with No Cap though. It's like, so that's kind of how I think, or why NBA Youngboy is upset for the most part. But it's
a
some
weird
whole
spot to
shit.
be in.
It's some little kid bitch ass shit. Honestly,
Right.
it just really is.
What we grow to expect.
Right.
At
I
this
mean,
point,
it's
yeah.
just sad that it's like it happens because it happened with Kodak and a lot of people on his label and stuff too. It's just like
Jack Boy.
man,
Well-
Jack Boy and a few of his other people that he had signed as well. And one of them ironically got killed like a few months later. It was just weird. But it's just sad that, like, you know, they can't work together to. You know what I'm saying? It's money out there for everybody type thing.
We've
It's
had a
like-
lot of
it's sad.
conversations about, you know, signing to labels and stuff, and the older
to
artists
artists.
having their artists. We talked about Drake and stuff and that kind of thing. Have we ever had the discussion about what I don't understand? I don't know if I fully understand
The young new artists
the
having
young
labels with
Yeah,
artists.
what is the point? You know, if you're a young artist that's really like still early in your career, a lot of those people are still even trying to just establish themselves. You got to put all of your time into you. So it makes sense that they would be neglecting their artists. You're not in a place to be able to help somebody else and focus on yourself.
Right.
Like I think of like Drake or somebody that's now in the
Established.
point of their career that they're 15 years in or something. It makes sense. You sign a younger dude, help bring them on. You can help them and still manage your career. But what's the benefit to signing to Kodak, NBA Youngboy? DJ Mush, I don't know if I should really put in here, but we were talking about
I
Roddy.
mean, but he's like a
mentioned
producer, so
earlier.
ain't like he an artist or something.
Yeah, that's
so
a bad-
Well, it is a benefit to it depending on what your current following or fan base is and stuff like that. If you don't have much of that, then you can kind of, at least some of their fan base is going to gravitate to you if they know that you signed to their favorite artists as well too. So
that
that's
would be
the
the
idea
benefit.
behind it. It's really label driven type
trying
thing.
to attach
It's like,
somebody to somebody's name.
yeah,
At the end
and
of the day.
it's not even. Sometimes these guys aren't even necessarily affiliated. It's not like they all grew up together or no shit like that. They just got an A&R who knew their manager or something like that, and that's how this linking happened. They just figured it would be beneficial for this younger artist and for the more popular artists as well too, because they're going to eat off of them. But I mean, that guy that's up and coming. I mean, it's going to be a bad deal for him, but he gets the exposure. So it's that.
It seems like a double bad deal, though, because we always talk about the bad deals in general. of signing with the labels and stuff as a brand new artist, and the fact that you're not getting as much help or effort as you
At the end of the
expected.
day, you
Now
just
you're getting
create
even
another
less.
bag for the label.
Right.
That's what you're doing basically. Create another affiliate bag for the major label that your shit is attached to. At the end of the day.
I agree. I was watching last night a clip on Math Hoffa's podcast, but it wasn't his podcast. It was just on his channel, the interview that he did with LaRussell.
He had some
I
drama
did see
with
that.
his
I
shit.
did see some of
Yeah,
that.
with his podcast.
Yeah.
I think we
did
talk about it on
we
here.
did talk about it.
Yeah, I think you were gone that week. But I was watching this interview with LaRussell. No, I'm interested in everything this dude's got to say. He's just an interesting kid. They were talking about. He was talking about a Roc Nation deal. LaRussell was.
Yeah.
He met with Roc Nation. They offered a deal. He said that they offered $15,000 into a discretionary fund that he could use, and that was basically what was offered to him. So he's like,
Just
yo, so I
15
sat
racks?
down and I'm like, I tell him, I know about the discretionary fund, but where's the money at?
Right.
And then he said, LaRussell's telling the story, he said the Roc Nation person basically sitting right in front of him makes a call and immediately offers him a new deal of like $750,000
That's crazy.
that fast?
and something else.
Right.
So,
Yeah, so I'm
that
not
was his
fucking with
point.
that
Is he
shit.
was like, that immediately turned me off because how many people sat down and just signed the first offer that you gave them?
Right.
He said, I don't want to deal with anybody that even if I got my deal to where it should be, I don't want to deal with anybody that's screwing over everybody else.
Right.
And then he kind of just kept expanding on that. He was like, what do you think it looks like to all the other rappers signed to Roc Nation with me, that I'm the only one that got a fair deal? You think they're going to like me after that?
Right. Facts.
It's just like, it's not anything brand new. I just, listening to him talk about it was just very interesting because he's giving numbers and actual putting figures and a specific instance on it rather than just kind of the general, I got a shitty deal they offer me kind of thing. It
Right,
was
and
really
especially
cool.
if you increase it, like, 700 times. Like,
Just because he said, where's it at?
Right.
Yeah.
That to me is just suspicious because it's like all of a sudden it's this is what's available to me. Like, oh, so is it so much more? Then is it a lot more left on the table than that? Really?
Man, he wasn't interested in going any further, but what if he says no to 750?
Right.
Is there
exactly.
another
That's what
deal
I'm
at that?
saying.
Like, how many
That's what I'm
times do we
saying.
just...
Right. How many times can I push this button? Is it
At
that
the end
easy?
there's like a
please.
test of where you at.
That's what it
They're
is.
throwing out a number to see how you react to it.
How silly you are.
Oh,
You know
you
what I'm
might
saying?
like this 15 racks. You might need this 15 racks right now. We
And
don't
that's
know, like,
a lot of them, like fresh
And that's
artists
how they get
that
'em.
I was speaking of that are
That's how they
signed
get
to, these other like more popular artists.
Mm-hmm.
That's what their deals be. It'd be 10 racks, be 15,
Yeah.
25 at best.
money that
Type
ain't
thing,
seen
or
in one lump sum.
Yeah, right. Or the like 5 foreign type deals.
Yeah. Quick jump.
5K. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's what you get. And I mean, it work out for some people in the long run, I guess. But
those different situations. LaRussell walking in that door with something that he didn't build already.
Right.
A fan base and an infrastructure that he already got going on. So they coming to him like that is crazy. It's kind of crazy that they don't see what he doing on the internet.
Way worse.
To lowball him like that. It's like, you ain't even paying attention.
No, they do see it. They do see it. They try to test him,
but
man.
but it's like difference in like a 5-year. Nobody knew who 5-year was when he offered him
But
that 5
I don't
band. So
know
it's
when
like,
that Roc Nation deal
I don't.
occurred. So this
I
could
think
be.
it was
I don't
pretty
know if
recent.
it
It
was
could
last-
be pre or prior
I
to.
think it
could
was
be.
pretty recent because I heard him talk about that Roc Nation shit a few times. But for y'all not to even understand and look and see what he's doing, he's obviously making money and doing something for himself by himself.
You look
so for
stupid.
y'all to offer him just 15 racks to his face is like an insult out the gate. Just like y'all ain't even paying attention to who y'all just brought in here.
Yeah. Legitimately the
Yeah.
perfect time to say, do you know who I am?
Exactly. Like,
Right.
yeah,
If there's
yeah,
ever a
yeah.
moment,
Like, what are you
it's
talking
right now.
about?
You
son.
be like, you know what? I always want to say this shit.
Yeah.
Do you know who I am?
That's just
Who
wild.
the fuck you talking to, bro?
Yeah, it was really interesting.
That's hilarious.
Really interesting. Yo, I got to shout out the Math Hoffa podcast. Everything they do is really good. I like the shop discussions that they have. But I also watched another clip of. You ever heard of MC Search?
I don't think so.
I didn't know that
I don't
name.
think so.
It sounds familiar,
familiar,
but
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
sure.
He is affiliated with Nas from the first 2 Nas albums.
Okay.
He owned 2% of those albums from whatever he did at that time. I think as a label person. He ended up rapping and stuff afterwards, but he talks about a lot of really detailed stuff I won't get into, but just talking about when he sold his 2% of Nas masters and offering it back to Nas, and Nas is like, nah, go on ahead, go get your money, because there's a 35-year rule in the music industry that you get your masters back after 35 years. And they're only 7 years away from Illmatic being 35 years old.
That's crazy.
So it was just a really dope thing listening to him talk about how he's always looked out for Nas's back, and Nas kind of vice versa, saying, yo, go get paid, I'm gonna get that masters back regardless. So it don't matter.
How does it work for Def though? If Nas dies prior to,
I believe he said something about that in it. I'm not confident enough to say, but I believe it's still
because I think
the same. It would just go to that person's estate.
Estate, maybe.
Yeah. I believe so.
Okay,
we'll have to.
But it's a very interesting.
You never know
interview.
what that shit. You know,
I didn't mention, but I'm not even gonna mention it. It's very interesting.
No, mention it. Yeah, you gotta say it now.
Dude's a Jewish fellow. And he was just talking about
who, the Search dude?
Yeah,
he's Black Hebrew.
Yeah,
okay.
No, he's Jewish.
No,
he's a white
Jewish
guy.
Yeah, he's a white Jewish dude.
Yeah, he was talking about growing up in New York City where they were at and being around a bunch of 5%ers from the beginning of his life. So it was just interesting to hear his perspective of how he did business and everything with Nas and within the industry from a perspective of really trying to be super respectful to the culture as a whole. And it's just really interesting. It was like a 15-minute thing that I saw, but I believe it's a 2-hour
I have seen
interview.
a few things on the internet about how blacks and Jews was really like kicking it. Like they was like a thing back in the day.
Oh, really?
Like in the 80s, especially like in New York. Of course, it's going to be in northern areas than in the South, but up north, they was like kicking it in the same situation. That's why you got the Rick Rumors and Run DMCs and shit that happened.
No, that makes sense.
Because the Jewish people was fucking with rap shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? They was all kicking it and hanging with each other.
Boys are all
Beastie
Jewish.
Boys, Jewish, yeah. So
that does make sense.
Yeah.
I had never thought about it. I know a lot of history about that.
Yeah. I knew Rick Rubin was, for sure.
Yeah, I knew that and still hadn't connected the dots.
Rick Rubin and Russell, friends, created the fucking Def Jam.
You know, all in one cult. So
you had sent us
the
topics.
videos I was saying made it more like it wasn't a cult thing. They was actually fucking with us. We all fucking with each other. They weren't like, oh, we're gonna take this and do this, and it wasn't like
no. I'm just saying.
It like something just turned. Something happened in like government that made shit turn on each other type shit. It was kind of weird, but you know that's another story.
Yeah.
You had sent us something on the list of topics. You had Kyrie in there.
Oh yeah, Kyrie
Seems
came
like a good opportunity
back yesterday.
To go ahead and talk about this.
Kyrie came back yesterday. He did some type of interview. I think it was live. I think it was posted. An interview, a visual interview with somebody. I forgot the dude's name. Some Jewish guy, of course. Talking. He apologized again. And, you know, they brought him back Sunday for his first game back. And
did he play
before
well?
the game?
I was wondering.
He had a light game. I think he only had like 15 points or something like that. It was a light game, but
he said he felt a little bit rusty. I think he had a few like
you gotta get back
unforced errors handling the ball and stuff.
But before the game, boy, them Black Israelites was outside.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
They was outside heavy outside
marching like
Brooklyn
an army.
Arena. Yeah, chanting. They say it was brick out that joint too. Everybody was out there.
Had to have been because it was cold as shit outside in Charlotte.
They said it was brick out there. I was like, yo, that's hard. That's some hard support right there.
They've
you know
been
what I'm
out
saying?
there though. Like ever since.
They've been out there
I think the group's been growing every night. But every night they got a game at the Barclays. They line up outside of the arena and shit.
That's hard.
And I think it's just been growing every time that they go out there or whatever. But I mean that's dope. You feel me? But I'm not sure what it does or what it's gonna do. But
it's a presence. It's a visual.
Yeah,
for sure. He got people behind him.
For sure.
You know
And
what I'm saying?
of course they tried to like vilify him with some questions, reporters like those his homeboys, like Kyrie called him up there or something. So, like, oh, do you know these guys outside? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm not gonna speak about any of that stuff right here and right now. So, that was the right answer that he should have gave at that time.
You're keeping it cool.
Right now is just the time to shut up and play basketball and get your money and stuff like that. Because, I mean, you ain't going to get no support from your NBA so-called brother. So you might as well just get your money and do
Except for
your shit
JB,
behind.
shout out Jalen, bro.
Yeah,
Jalen rocking.
he been holding strong and stuff like that. But yeah, that's it.
Everything I didn't see any of the game stuff, but I saw a few transcript things, just stuff that that Kyrie said. Everything he said, it seemed like he represented himself really well in the more recent conversation, whatever was happening. I don't know if it was post game or what.
Right. He just want to get to basketball at this point because it's like nothing, outside of basketball is going to serve him well in that setting. You know what I'm saying? Like, just keep it basketball. Don't get into religion or politics. None of that shit. When it comes to it, just stick to that. Handle your shit behind the scenes is the best way to go about it.
Well, I wanted to mention I didn't even listen back to when we had an actual discussion about that when we recorded at your spot. So I don't even remember exactly how all that went. But I do think it's important to say that the Kyrie stuff got blown up so much out of proportion, specifically because of coming off a Kanye situation.
For sure.
And I think that the whole reaction from the Jewish community and the backlash that's being represented by people that are not even Jewish, that were just jumping on saying, yo, this is not okay and shit.
Yeah.
It was so over the top, and I think it did way more detrimental to anything positive that could have been happened in the situation itself. I don't know. I think that part of it was unfortunate, and I don't like where it has gotten more recently, where it just seems to be like where it's being talked about and stuff. It just seems like it's grown so much animosity between the two groups that I think could have been very much avoided, should have been avoided, could have been handled so much better. And I do think that Kyrie was way overblown and over penalized for what anybody that with a unbiased viewpoint could have looked at and seen that there was not ill intent behind. Right. Whether or not people are offended, whether or not there's reason to be, and all that shit, I'm not getting back into again.
Right.
But it very easily could have been, if you looked at what he did, there was not the ill intent that was put onto him throughout this whole conversation and narrative. And, I'm not a Kyrie guy, but I do think the majority of this stuff was just not done, not handled well.
What's your parents say? Kyrie ain't got so much trouble. Kyrie got in trouble.
That's pretty much what it was.
I agree with that.
It's like when your sibling get in trouble in the house, both of y'all motherfuckers better be quiet. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or you next, type thing. So that's pretty much what happened to him.
I agree.
And it's just it was unfortunate, but again, at this point, you don't really want to make it worse for yourself. Because, like I said, he got the people lining up for him outside the arena, but nobody inside the arena is doing the same. So, he needs to just play basketball when he's in there. So, yeah.
True indeed. Speaking of the Nets, they've been hot on the press, it seems like every week now. KD went on, he did this interview with Chris Haynes.
Yeah.
And he had some comments about his squad. He basically said, look at our starting lineup. Edmund Sumner, Royce O'Neal, Joe Harris, Claxton, and me. It's not disrespect, but what are you expecting from the group? You expect us to win because I'm out there. When we're all playing like shit, the one person they're going to look at, that's why I requested a trade. So I guess he got asked the questions about why he was getting his trade or whatever. Had these comments to say about his team, How y'all feel about that? Is that crazy? You feel like you disrespected his squad a little bit?
He had multiple quotes in there that I thought were super disrespectful to the squad.
Right.
And I believe in that he also had comments where he was talking about his people questioning his leadership.
Yeah.
And, he was pointing out all the stuff about questioning my leadership because I'm not telling Kyrie what to do. I'm not trying to, I think he just missed the boat. The comment that you read is why people question his leadership.
Right.
And I believe everything that he said is true. But every leader of a team knows that you don't say that. That's not something that you ever acknowledge publicly.
You don't
and
say
it's questionable if you can even say that within the confounds of your team or with trusted people.
Right.
That's just not the leader way to call out everybody else and say I will be the blame. He's right, but he's wrong.
As a leader, you really, just kind of always got to preach confidence into your group. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course you can be real about the situations and just say like, we didn't play well or we're not playing well up to this point. But you always include yourself in that group. He just singled out himself, pretty much saying like, I'm the shit. They not really that good. So that's pretty much what he said. So you expect me to carry the team every night, and it's just not gonna happen like that.
Yeah.
But that's not how a leader talk. You know what I'm saying? That's not what men respect. You would go out there and say like, look, Joe Harris, if he open, I'm gonna hit him in the corner every time. He gonna make the shot. Like that's what I believe. Like that's what a leader would do. He gonna lean on the things that the people do well and try to maximize and minimize the stuff that they don't do well. So I mean, I don't know. At this point in his career, he's never gonna get to that point. He's just KD. He's a weapon on the floor. So we can't expect him to grow into this leader of men overnight. It's just not going to happen. He's 34, 35 years old at this point.
I still think he's a leader. He just doesn't lead in the way that I guess the perspective of what a leader is supposed to be. I still think he leads on the floor.
You can lead in different ways. You can be a silent leader. You can be a vocal leader. You can lead by example. All of that stuff. That's not a leader. The things that he just said.
Right.
That you're a basketball player. Anywhere you go, you can't walk into a room and lead men. You don't have the skills to do that. You have the skills to put the ball in the hoop. You have the skills to cross somebody up. You have the skills to pull up from the three or from the corner, wherever. But you don't have the skills to lead a group of men. If it was a fucking scavenger hunt, his team would lose.
I mean, he's not the coach. That sounds like more of a coach's job.
I'm just saying. But no, it's a skill. It's a developed skill. It really is.
That was the point I was about to make, though. I'd like to leave him room to grow. He could become a leader to an extent, because I think you can teach leadership. There's a certain innate leader. There's a certain innate quality.
It's intangible too.
Well, there's a certain innate quality that certain people have that you could just tell they have a leadership gift.
I don't agree with you can teach leadership. I think we had this conversation a while back about leadership, and I don't think you can teach leadership. I think people are natural born leaders, and some people are just filling the position of wherever they lead, whoever they lead.
Well,
not everybody's just naturally, I'm just a leader. No,
I agree with that 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Is there's certain people that are obvious leaders.
Right.
Mike Tomlin is a great example of somebody that is a clear leader, and I would say that he was born with something that made him a more effective leader than most people will be. But I think if you take somebody that is in a position of power, and they're willing to work on their leadership skill, as you called it, I do think it's a skill, then they can still reach a status of being an effective leader. They may not be a natural gifted leader, but they can. I think they can.
Anything can be learned.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, just because you're skilled in something, anything can be learned. It doesn't mean you're gonna be as good at it. But what I'm saying is, even if he was really practicing to be a good leader, he would have known not to say the stuff that he said. He's not even practicing those things. That's what I'm saying. To me, that tells me a guy that's not concerned.
Leaders fuck up too. No leader's perfect.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they don't. That's for sure, no doubt. But you got to come out and admit when you fucked up, or else people ain't just never going to respect you.
Which I'm going to get to right now, because he went on his podcast, the Etceteras, and he responded to what he said, and his little clip that came out right here.
I maybe should explain myself a little bit better to Chris Haynes. But it wasn't like this. So I'm glad we were able to do this. But that was my intentions when I said it. Yeah. I was more so trying to say, look, I was trying to protect my teammates from the expectations from everybody else. Relax a little bit. Let us work this out until everything get right. But look how we playing though. 40-point wins, 30-point wins, 5 straight games of under 100. And then we'll give up 150 and lose to the Lakers. And just oh shit, the sky's falling. I'm like, yo, do you see the progression of our team and what we doing? And guys are stepping up and trying to do more. So when they actually in those roles of getting back to, all right, this is what we need you here for. Edmund gonna be better, Royce gonna be better, Clax gonna be better, I'm gonna be better, and I forgot about Joe. I didn't say Joe. Joe coming off a whole year not playing, basically playing at 3 for us.
Yeah.
I maybe should explain myself. Having to guard bigger guys, not just shooting. He going down to the rim a little bit, dropping stuff off, just being more, just expanding his game. So everybody expanding their game throughout this time. So it's gonna be ups and downs throughout our team. And I was just don't expect us to be perfect every night or great every night. Or it's gonna be times where we playing incredible basketball. On the next game, we might not be able to hit shit. So like that was my whole thing, and I definitely could have worded it better. I won't put that on anybody but myself because I could have explained it like this.
I give credit to Chris, like knowing as a writer who's written stories, the social team's gonna read through that and they're gonna pick. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily him. I give credit to him for coming out and saying, "Hey, it was this." You retweeted him and all that.
I give him
but it's tough. It is tough to, have your quotes be plastered around like that, and you're like, "Nah, I meant it." And I like what you just said because
having to guard bigger guys.
Those are the combos we have. It's like we're excited that Royce is doing more than he is
exactly
doing. Same for Ed, Clax. Me and you have been talking about Clax all season. Just like, yo, like he clearly put in the work. I told him at the Laker game, like, yo, I seen that work you've been putting in, big fella. And so I think it's like.
But when I named him, it looked like. And then when I said y'all expected them to win because I'm out there, which is how I feel. It's just like, well, your expectations are way higher for these guys in our team because you're looking at the name.
Because the way it is, it's like if the team has Kevin,
y'all get the point. He basically said, he went on to say like he felt embarrassed after how that came out, and to even go in front of his team after that, it was plastered all everywhere. He's like, damn, I know people hitting him up and saying shit. So I had to go to my team and just really tell them like how I really meant this. It's like he basically was trying to put it in perspective when he made those statements like, y'all are putting championship contender expectations on this team that's just because I'm here.
Right.
And that's really what people have been doing. Because you look at that team is not a contender when you look at that team, just for what it is, Kyrie on the floor or not. So I guess he was just trying to put it in perspective by naming out the players on his team, and y'all are like putting us, we got to be contended for a championship, or we're not doing it right, or some shit like that.
No, I respect his response. I mean, I think it's as soon as I saw the headline with that quote, I don't believe shit anymore. I believe that he said it, but I was
fake shit, right?
But I believe he said it, but I was like, there's something more to this. I read the story, and I honestly thought that he might have been mad at the reporter because if you read the whole interview, he really does clarify himself pretty well.
Right.
And
I guess like a video interview too. It was like a written down interview,
like an article.
Yeah.
But dude made a point. That whoever the other person was in that clip you just played, like once the social teams takes it, their responsibility is to find what's going to get the clicks.
Exactly.
So they went with that. But my question is, I still stand on everything I said. You don't say what he said, but hasn't Kobe done shit like this before?
Yes.
And the reception is totally different. What's the difference between Kobe saying it and KD saying it?
The mentality. I don't think.
I mean, I think Kobe got backlash for treating his teammates like that.
I mean,
he was claimed to always be hard to play with because how he would come down on his teammates type shit.
But I mean, that was the same thing about Jordan too. But the thing is that those guys were known to push their teams to another level. That's not something that
when you got the chips and shit.
But I'm just saying that's not something that KD's necessarily.
I don't think pushing the teammates is a problem for any of them. It's the public like calling out or humiliating of other teammates that gets the real reaction.
Right, but what I'm saying is that why it's viewed differently here is because these guys are known to push their teams to this point, and they get the ultimate result out of that. KD is not known for that. And the
narrative is different. The KD has the narrative of running away from the team, running away from the shit.
Right. He's a different personality from those guys.
Y'all look at him as not being a leader.
He's not. Kobe and Michael Jordan, they would strike you, at least on the floor, as this alpha type personality.
They would strike you on the floor too.
Yeah, right. But I mean, that's not necessarily how you view Kevin Durant. It's more passive. So I would, taking those words from him, you'd be like, well, that's a bit harsh from Kevin Durant. If you hear it from Kobe or Michael Jordan, you'd be like, that's kind of expected because they're assholes.
So it's the expectation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Of who that person is.
A shock.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
a good
how
answer.
I feel about it.
That's a good answer.
Exactly.
Yeah. Good answer.
But I mean, I still feel like, if that's what he wanted to say, he should have said that. And maybe I got to read the whole thing to clarify, but it's just certain ways you got to know how to phrase it. Like you said, you want to be.
So in that sense, he felt like he was being the leader. Like he said, he felt like he was protecting his team by just pointing out, like, look at this team, who we got. You stop putting these expectations of being a contender on us.
I mean, I think that's what his first flaw of leadership was, because it's like, what Are you leading them to failure? Are you not leading them to expect to win a championship? Everybody on this team should expect. That's how I would feel, because otherwise this season is not a success.
In reality, when they had those blockbuster trades and brought Harden and Kyrie and KD over, those contender expectations are going to be there regardless. So I don't think they would leave, even though those two of the guys have been not there most of the time. People are still gonna hold them to that, and then I guess to put it in perspective, it's like, yo, Harden's not here no more. Kyrie ain't been playing as much, like, so this team ain't what it was supposed to be with the other two stars on it to be a contender. So to look at it the same when it's not that same team no more, it's like they shouldn't have those expectations. We should look at them as a team that's just trying to make it in the playoffs, because that's what they are.
I'm saying this like in agreement with you, but I think Jordan and LeBron ruined this conversation.
What you mean?
Because the expectation is that if you're one of the great players, that you can win with almost anybody.
Yeah.
So the expectation is, if you're Kevin Durant, it doesn't matter who your other players are. The expectation is you should be a title contender. Yeah. And I think what he gave is a more realistic.
People are linking up.
Right.
People have stupid squads now, so it's like, no, this team with just KD is not going to win a championship against the teams that's in the East. It's just not going to happen.
Giannis didn't have a stupid
It would be
squad,
crazy.
Though.
I mean, he has a good squad. He has a really good squad.
But
I think
I'm just saying, though, he would never make a statement like that, though.
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake is putting a name on it. Right. If he gives kind of this, and he said it could have worded it differently. If he says the same thing and says, we don't have the exact same roster as we were expecting after making these big moves. Guys have been out. We've got guys playing more minutes than they should.
Five and made it
you can really easily make the point without putting the name on it. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, agreed. Sure. What other basketball stuff while we're here? There was something. Well, you started saying right before we recorded, and I said, "Let's record." Do you remember what we were talking about?
I can't remember basketball related.
Well, talking about the Warriors.
What was it? Oh, maybe Klay Thompson going off or something.
That's what it was. Klay Thompson.
Yeah. Dropping 41 points or something like that the other night.
Something like that. I think he's
getting back into the groove.
Multiple good games in a row, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's getting back into it.
Had a couple good ones.
I think people are concerned about the Warriors. I think they just won their first road game. The other night, they was like 0-8 on the road.
Going 0-8 on the road to begin is like a legitimate reason to be concerned.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it kind of, but I don't have those kind of concerns at this juncture of the season. Like, they're a mature team. It's not like it's a group full of a bunch of. They know how to win. Do I think the Warriors are going to win the championship this season? I don't. But
why is that?
Huh?
Why is that? The pieces haven't changed that much.
I don't know. I think at some point it's not going to work like this every year type thing, and it hasn't been like that for them. I mean, have they ever won back-to-backs? No, right?
I don't know, man. My memory with that stuff is
they haven't won back-to-back. Oh, yes, they did. Sorry, they're with KD. With KD, sorry. But, I mean, they not in the just Curry era. They haven't won a back-to-back that way, so I don't see them necessarily
do you gotta
winning the championship.
Does it have to be separated though?
What do you mean?
Because it was the back-to-backs with KD, and they won't just Curry. Because Curry got his dolo too before that.
Yeah, but it's a different team. It makes it different when you add KD to the equation. Sure. If KD's playing there now, regardless of even their age, is they're shooting. They're going to win the title.
Sure.
Regardless, but I don't know. I just don't see them winning it all again this year like that. Maybe making a deep playoff run, but
I know who is going to run it back. The Boston boys coming, man.
Maybe.
They clearly are one of the better teams.
We're on the fucking
it's not even close.
We the best. We the best. We pretty much the best right now.
I won't say it's wild, but you're one of the best.
13-3.
I'm not knocking that. The Bucks are right there. If you got the best record, you got the best record. I'm not going to argue, but
yeah,
same idea. The Warriors thing, though, I think the reason I felt like it's different. Obviously, I think they're going to turn it around and be like,
it's plenty of time to do that. Yeah,
and of course, it's unlikely that they're going to win a back-to-back championship. But there's just been it's just total different results. The defensive numbers have been bad. not being able to win on the road is wild for a veteran team like this. The fact that the majority of their pieces are the same. The guys that left are more like the 8, 9, and 10 guys on the bench.
And that first road win was against the Rockets. And we know what the Rockets are.
They're terrible.
They've been there. They only got 3 wins.
James Wiseman just got sent back down to the G League.
Yeah.
Like,
what's up with him?
There's something there but I think they'll be fine. I don't know. He maybe he's just not that good.
He maybe not be. That would be the only reason you would send him to the G League is if he's not good enough.
Well, I've seen a lot of criticism of their younger players. I think him, Kuminga, and I don't even know if Moody's getting like PT like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure
right now. I haven't watched many Warriors games.
They're missing GP3. They're missing GP3 with that defense. He was a good spark.
Anderson, I think, was the one other guy. They only lost a couple guys, but they apparently were very important.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a new team. You still got to work through it. It's a new season and stuff like that. Again, I'm not concerned about them over the course of the season. They'll still probably be a top 4 seed when it's all said and done, and they're going to make a little run here. So Steph Curry's still that guy. Klay Thompson's still showing you he can splash. They got to do a little bit better on the defensive end. I expect a little bit better consistency out of Poole now that he got paid. So we'll see if he can step his game up, be more consistent. But I mean, that's really just all it is. I think they'll get back to thumping some people here. They'll go on a good long winning streak, and people forget all about this moment that they had. Yeah, it's just too early.
We ain't even a quarter away in the season yet.
Yeah,
I haven't got to 20 games yet.
Like I said, it's not a big concern of mine at this point. If it was happening, later on, then I would probably have something to say.
Yeah,
I feel that. Point. See, Ben Simmons been having a couple of good games in a row.
I did see that last one.
Yeah, 22 last night. It was like 11 for 13 or something too.
I did see
Certainly haven't seen him take that many shots in a game up until last night.
Hey, at least he's shooting. He getting comfortable.
Well,
I heard they playing Philly this week in Philly.
Yeah, Embiid's not
first time
playing.
back.
Not even worth watching.
And I mean, I feel like the narrative did kind of get carried away. People forget that Ben Simmons is a good player. He is a good basketball player. I mean, he's always been a pretty good basketball player. He's talking about a guy who is an all-star. So, I mean...
But you're talking about a guy that was out for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then this year, up until the last 2 games, has been bad.
Yeah, right, because he was out for 2 years.
So what's your motto?
4 points
You don't get better not playing.
Right, for sure. Well, that's for sure, but I'm just saying, like, it doesn't surprise me that when he has a good game, because it's like, okay... Maybe he is a good basketball player. He might not be as good as people want him to be to, justify him being the number 1 overall pick that he was. But at the same time, to this point, he's had a successful NBA career. That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
It's true.
But I think that's why he gets the criticism, because he's shown that he's capable of being an all-star. And then, the last time we seen him was not going for that dunk or whatever on Trae Young. So that's the last image somebody got of you playing basketball, and now you coming back and you haven't been playing that well going in. People looking at you like, all right, what's wrong with you? It's like a big question mark with him right now. Like, what's up with you?
It just doesn't make sense to be the size that he is and to be able to move the way that he can move. I could give a fuck less if he ever takes a jumper. We know his jumper is not good.
Right.
At his height, his size, his athletic ability, it should be a no-doubter 10 to 15 points every game. And the fact that he went like weeks and weeks,
he should average a double-double.
Easily, son.
He should average a double-double.
He was putting up stat lines of like 4, 5, 3 for the first 2-3 weeks of the season. That's just unexplainable.
Right.
It's clear that no new news here. His confidence is the issue, but hey, they'll be a totally different team if he can get back to playing just the way that he used to be.
Be a defender, facilitator. And like you said, get on them boards, man. Yeah. A lot of second chance opportunities. So you can pick up most of his points just by doing that. And like I said, really being a post distributor. I think that's really his game. And I think he'll be a successful player if he just does that. You're going to have to take a jump shot every now and then, though. That's just a game of basketball in today's. You're going to have to take one because you're going to be open for it. You know what I'm saying? They're going to leave him open for him, so he has to take them. But just play his game. Other than that, he'll be all right.
He'll be straight. He'll be
For
straight.
sure.
No doubt.
Before, I know we skipped over it, but did you want to? I know you had that Kodak and 21 Savage verse.
Totally missed it.
Written down.
Yeah, go back to it.
Well, it started when 21 was on. Was he on Clubhouse again? I think he was on Clubhouse again.
Yeah.
He like
Talking
whack
about-
100 on Clubhouse a little bit.
Y'all said this last week. That he like a tier under whack.
Yeah, he be on that shit a lot.
He stay on Clubhouse talking.
How you got this much time to talk and shit and record all these songs?
Yeah, it was-
Dude, it's everywhere.
I mean, the
Everywhere
album
I
out
turn
now,
on.
so you getting it in.
This motherfucker playing basketball and
That's
shit. He in a basketball
Everything
league.
I turn on, 21 is in. He's
on
everywhere.
somebody's Twitch stream.
He's everywhere.
Like, yo, what the fuck? How do you have time to do this shit?
Yeah.
But fucking, I guess it started with him on there, and they was talking about his double XL cover.
The class, yeah.
His class, and he
That's
basically
the
saying,
2017 class?
I think so, something like that.
2017 class?
But he basically said,
It's a legit.
ain't nobody
legitimate
beating him in the
though.
verses. Out of that whole class, that started a little uproar out of your boy Kodak.
And,
Kodak won't fucking with that comment.
Yeah, in the class, you got like Lil Dicky, you got Lil Uzi, you got Lil Yachty, Anderson .Paak is in that class. Denzel Curry,
Lil Uzi,
Designer,
It's a solid class.
and somebody else that I'm missing. That's a decent level artist as well too.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's a pretty solid.
Oh, G Herbo, you left G
G
Herbo.
Herbo. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because Chico Bean.
Chico
went
He
crazy.
went off. He went
son.
off on that shit. He spit all that verse on. I forgot what beat that was. I can't remember. That shit was hard.
He was on Brilliant
snappy.
Idiots, and they were talking about it. He was like, "I'll stand for Herbo any day, winning the verses." Then
Which
he
I agree
rapped
with him,
like
too.
an entire song. Shit
I
was
agree with him
hilarious.
too. I think G Herbo can get on there and get his Jadakiss on and body somebody in the verses. I think people sleep on G Herbo, but
Yeah, G
that's
Herbo
my
alright,
dude.
but he ain't fucking with 21 in the
my
verses
dude.
though.
I mean,
Who do you think wins the verses?
between
That
21
class.
Oh, Kodak easily.
All right, I
Of course
assumed
he's
that was
saying
going to
that.
be
Yeah,
the answer. I had to
You
ask.
expect
you, though.
anything different?
I had to ask. You.
No, I mean, but I don't even think it's like from a biased point of view. I think 21 probably has the closest catalog to, but his will be a bunch of features.
This
you know
is
what I'm saying?
assuming that you're just taking Anderson .Paak out, right?
Right. I mean,
understand
because
that would be a
wouldn't-
weird matchup.
It wouldn't be
I
Anderson.
understand. It's not fair.
But it wouldn't be Anderson .Paak though. It would be his group. And so it would be a different.
No, Anderson got some joints too.
No, I'm not saying he
got
does.
some
the
joints.
biggest ones.
But the
are gonna
biggest
be, no,
songs
that's
that he
fair.
got to
Bruno
compete in
Mars
the,
songs, yeah,
it
right.
would be
You get it.
what's the group's called? Fucking
Silk Sonic.
Silk Sonic shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No,
that's kind of why I exclude him from this conversation. But I don't see nobody with more like legitimate hits than Kodak on that list though. I don't think any of
I
them.
mean 21, but Uzi. I think Uzi would be a tough one too.
He's one I thought, like,
But he has like
not
a
from
niche
my
fan
personal
base, though.
opinion, but just like looking
I
at
mean,
numbers and
all
stuff.
three of them got niche fan bases. You really think about it.
Look, all I'm saying is this: is just that, like, as far as legitimate top 10 radio singles that, like, even grandmas know type thing, Kodak got that. That's what I'm saying. Like, you might have he got those kind of hits.
Take the
though.
grandma part
That's
off
crazy.
of it.
You say he
Take
got
the grandma
10.
part
He
off
got
of it,
10
bro.
hits that everybody knows. Is what you're saying?
It's
If you
up
don't-
there,
I don't
bro.
think
He
that.
got.
He might got like 1 or 2, but 10.
No, it's up there, bro. He got some.
I ain't saying he
classic
don't got
songs.
hits, but you say he got 10 records that anybody grandmas know. No, he don't.
Well, at least
That's the part
five.
where it always
I
gets
mean, at least I'm saying at least 5 of those type songs that like
Can't play the Bruno Mars one if you're taking it
I'm
away
about to say
from
that
Pac,
Bruno
too.
Mars joint might be the only one that grandma would know or something. Like maybe
take
they
that
heard.
off. But I mean, he got like ZZ was a huge
ZZ's the
record.
one I was gonna say for sure.
Tunnel Vision, a huge record. Super
Yeah.
Gremlin, really big record.
Super Gremlin, definitely.
Yeah, Roll in Peace. A lot of people know fucking Roll in Peace,
Now,
even
what's
if
the Bodak Killer one?
that's No Flocking.
No flocking.
That's
No
one I would
Flocking
put
is
on
yeah.
there.
That's a. I mean, he got like the guy drops a hit every year type thing, and it's like. I mean, 21 got his songs, no doubt, and it's some big records.
Right, he got
but
some
for the most
joints.
part, it's just gonna be like his feature verses on them, like outside of like Bank Account.
That's a good
or,
argument.
What's the Bank Account and
lot.
what else?
The early.
A lot. Yeah, that's
his
a
record.
A couple of those early ones, I forget the
He
name
got some
of.
joints
Like
running.
Right, but
Bro, what?
are they the same level as a Super Gremlin, as a ZZ? They outside of the bank account and a lot is not. Kodak got more of those. That's all I'm saying. By himself, type thing. Like, and then if you even want to, Kodak can throw Silent Hill on there. That's a hit, type thing. Like it's he got a lot of top
Sliding, come on.
10
was,
type records.
X featuring Future and No
Ball
Heart
Without You,
were
come
the
on.
two that I was thinking of off from that early album. Remember that one?
Savage Mode.
Yeah, I remember that album. Yeah, for sure.
I don't have a strong opinion
It'll
on
be
this.
hard. I
I
like
think
to
you
see
can
it.
make a solid argument for Kodak. I think you can make
Who
one
would you
for
Who would you
21.
pick though?
To win?
Yeah, who would you pick to win?
I picked 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked 21. I fuck with 21.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying you wrong, but
G Herbo, right?
You wrong.
I think Uzi's
Who's
right
Jada?
there too.
Uzi too. Uzi in there.
Not like for me personally, but I think you can find a couple
I
of
think
massive songs of his.
his first like 2 singles, he played those. Then yeah, he in the conversation. But then I just feel like after that, it dies down to okay, Lil Uzi's fan base only knows these songs.
Yeah, but
Right.
that's
all
what
I'm saying.
That's what we're saying the same for you after your 4 or 5.
Yeah,
you
I feel
gave
like,
us
I
4
feel
or
like
5.
all three of them
but
are
after
like
that,
because usually in the verses is usually somebody that's been around for 20 years.
Yeah, for sure.
So all of them ain't been around 10
Right,
years.
right.
So it's like a bit, so after like the first 10, it's gonna start being tracks that you have to really be fans of.
I'm just saying, like you'll be surprised at like how many people know a lot of early Kodak songs. Like "Skirt" is one of them too. That's like a street, skirt, skirt, skirt,
Yeah.
skirt. Like people
Cold
know
Bros.
that when you play that shit, motherfuckers go crazy. It's
Right.
like he got songs like that for days though. That's all I'm saying. And it's like early because people forget that Kodak's the only one that we're talking about in this conversation that he's been in the game longer than all of these artists. Like his first hit was at 15.
I mean, he won't hear longer than all of them.
All I'm saying is, man, you gotta look at the hit list, bro.
Yeah.
He got
So
a nice hit
if
list,
you
bro.
chop up that 10 years, if he
Sniper
was like
game.
here only half of them, then he's been in the game long, it's the same
Yeah,
amount of time as them.
right. I mean, that's certainly a good argument for sure, no doubt. But so you got them things that ring off for real. Like even songs like "Drowning" is not his song necessarily, but
Shout
Kodak
out
make that
A-Boogie.
song.
yeah, we get into the features. You got a lot more arguments for all
I think
three
the
of
same thing
yeah,
you're
no
saying,
doubt.
we could say the same thing about 21 and Uzi.
I do think so. I think you might be
I think
right,
it's the
but I
same
think the argument
Not
could be made
longevity
for all.
wise, though. Not longevity wise.
I mean, all right.
I'm just saying. No
Don't get you nothing.
All
on the
of them got
verses if
slaps.
they're in the 3-year period or if
All
they're
of them,
spread out.
yeah,
over
all,
Yeah, for
all
sure,
of them gonna
for
get
sure.
to that 10 song mark and
For
it'll
sure.
be playing Jones that you gotta
Yeah.
be super fans to know.
Yeah, I just feel like once we get in that environment, y'all gonna be like, "Oh yeah, Kodak watched this."
I'm
motherfucker,
never
bro."
going to
I'm
that
just, maybe.
I'm never gonna be in that
You'll probably want to, and it would probably
In
be a
that
terrible
environment.
The
live
worst.
to watch. It would
The
probably be a
worst,
terrible
son.
versus to watch.
Any two
Or
of
from
those
just
three.
a Kodak perspective, I feel like he wouldn't even give a fuck about.
No.
I think he would be
Actually
highly
participating.
entertaining on the verses, to be honest. He'd probably be entertaining as shit.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
21 gonna be one over there all cool and mellow and shit.
I'm not sure how that would look.
They both might not say anything.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, good call. I did forget all about that. Any other music stuff that I forgot?
Oh, but it can continue it. It kept going. Like the beef
Oh, yeah.
it's like
I didn't know.
Started to escalate a little while afterwards because then 21 made the Nas comments. Kodak got on live. Was talking crazy.
He's
to
a
him about
huge
that.
Nas fan, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like
I thought he was just saying this just to
Nah,
talk
he
to
took
you.
that shit disrespectful.
He's
Oh, wow.
a huge Nas fan, bro.
That's funny.
What do you say? What do you say? What do you say? You saw something on dick? What do you say?
I
You
didn't even see
smoking
the
dick?
clip.
He said you smoking dick right now. Talking about Nas like that or something. He started singing. I know I can. He started singing. That shit was hilarious. He started singing that jump. Yeah, he was going in on him on that. And then something happened. I think 21 was on Clubhouse again. He started talking about like I guess he was just talking about because everybody responded off his not verses, his double XL. Everybody responded. He was like, "Tell if all y'all rappers still are supposed to be better than me, why ain't y'all buying their albums or some shit like that?" He said some comment like that. Kodak took that shit, dog. Got on live again, was talking like, "Yo, I don't respect that. Ain't G, homie. It ain't G me. How you doing me like that?" Da. He started talking about he started bringing about how you been locked up and in and out the joint. He's like, they trying to push me out the game and all this shit, and you talking about my numbers and all. He took that shit personally. So it's starting to escalate. I feel like Kodak really taking this shit to heart. All this shit that 21 be saying.
I think he takes a lot of that shit to
He
heart.
take all that shit to heart.
He all of the numbers. Like I wish he wouldn't focus on that type of stuff because he make quality music. So and then he always gonna end up catching a major single anyway because, like I said, he continuously has done this throughout his career anyway. So to him, I wouldn't even focus on like first week numbers and stuff because you're gonna get a platinum single pretty much out of every project that he drops.
And at the same time, you gotta take accountability.
I think that's a whack response from 21. You gonna bring up numbers after you do a Drake album?
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
Right.
That is
Nobody
wild.
bought
That is wild. I mean, he has done great numbers.
But to his point, he has done great numbers prior to the Drake album as well too. But it's like, but you know why you eating right now, though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, come on.
And it's like,
not a fan.
I mean, you got popular shit. You drop this album with Drake.
He ain't the type of artist that is diversified in a way that's like he said it himself. As long as I got Metro booming, like I'm gonna be art, and that's what it. I'm not saying that's what it is, but that's a combination like that we know 21 for necessarily is like
it can be
him
what
on a Metro beat is what we want to hear. Like, of course, then somebody like Kodak or anybody else, you don't even know who their producers are. Type thing, you know what I'm saying?
It might be a flaw to Kodak. You need to find him one of them producers that mesh with him, bro.
I don't think it's a flaw. You got hits with multiple producers, not just one.
I mean, sure, but like I said, every artist wants to have a sound, and if they can find a producer that can embody their sound in the best way, you're gonna make your best music with them. I.e., 21 and Metro Boomin.
Yeah, I
mean, they got his best music with them.
It doesn't have to be a flaw towards either one of them, though.
Right.
I don't think it's a negative either way. I think 21. If he said that, it sounds like he knows his lane. That's I respect that.
Right. He's very conscious of
if you
what
have
he's
it. If you don't have it, you don't have it. It is beneficial though. If you can find that tandem for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Roddy and DJ Mustard. Get that shit together.
For real.
Yeah, Snoop and Dre type shit.
You know what I'm saying? Makes sense.
Yeah, no doubt. Even though Dre ain't really produced nothing.
What else you got? What else you got? Keep it moving. What else you got?
Go ahead and ignore that one. That's crazy.
Any other music stuff?
Let me see what I got.
I know you had Twitter things on there, and if we don't have music, we can go to Twitter before we do NFL.
I did have Twitter things. Oh, y'all hear that Sweetie record?
Negative, son. I didn't listen to neither of the Rodricks. I didn't catch Sweetie.
Apparently, she put out a record, or I think an EP or an album this week. And one of the songs was addressing all the shit with Quavo and Lil Baby, so to speak, called "Don't Say Nothing."
And she say everything.
She say, and not really though. The song is trash. Terrible rapping.
Really? Wow.
The song is fucking
seriously
trash. But it's like she was talking about it like subliminally the whole time, but it was like still direct what she was talking about. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
Yeah, I've seen some of the quotes. And
it was like the whole song was about them, but she never addressed what part was about who. It was just a bunch of like, oh, there he nutty quick, and all that. Which ladies, y'all gotta stop saying that the nut quick shit is a diss, because that means it's good, right?
Well,
and that's what it's supposed to mean.
I mean, shout out to the guy that got his. I mean, who cares? I mean,
that's a win.
So shout out to that guy. He got his.
Sounds like a notch on the belt to me.
Right.
But hey, what do you expect?
Whatever. I hate that we even talk about this right now because it's like
true. But
this is such a
coming off. We talking about
such
the Migos and all that.
Talentless person. Like she has zero talent. Like
you always hated her, or is this something new?
No, I mean, it's the first time I heard her rap. That's all it took. She's not good with. This is how it lets me know that.
She's J-Lo.
I mean, not even to that extent. J-Lo could at least dance.
J-Lo could at least dance.
Sweetie doesn't do anything but look, good. That's it. Like that's how I know some shit going on behind closed doors in this rap shit because it's like there's no reason that you should be on anybody's radio. You cannot sing nor rap.
The look be selling.
I mean, she got to. I mean, she must be good at what she does. On a different microphone because she's not good at the traditional. She's not an MC. That's all I'm saying. Like she's. I listened to her freestyle one time. I think she freestyled for J. Cole like in the middle of the street before she got famous or whatever. And
we've seen that video.
it was one of the most cringe-worthy things I've ever watched in my life.
It's like that Iggy John on Sway.
It was way worse than that. It was
Out
way
on the
worse.
street. It's probably worse.
Oh no,
Damn.
it's the worst rapping you've ever heard in your life, like type thing. It's something my daughter can compete with, no doubt about it. Like just elementary rhyme schemes, flow. Half of the shit didn't rhyme. It's just all about that generic surface level female rap topic type. I don't. That just lets me know like what the rap game really is when you listen to a Sweetie song.
Good part of
But
it.
how do you get here?
For sure.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, let's keep it moving off, sweetie.
Yeah.
we got like 25, 30 minutes left. So.
Yeah, let's move on.
Twitter or football?
It don't matter. I mean, I heard it's saying RIP Twitter out here. It said Twitter about to be gone in like a week.
What's up with that?
People are fucking panicking for no reason. I got strong opinions on this.
Elon?
Yeah, they are trying so hard to make Elon fail. It's retarded.
Right.
Long story shortened, bunch of people quit when he bought the company.
I thought a bunch of people got fired.
No, a bunch of people quit when he got the company.
Right.
Within the last week, he sent out stuff to the whole company saying that we're about to become more productive. Y'all haven't been doing shit.
Yeah.
His term was we're going to put in like hardcore hours or something like that.
Everybody got to come in the office. No more at home work and shit.
Yeah. Shortly after that, he said you've got until the next day or 2 days later or something to decide if you're going to be a part of the company and do this or if you're going to resign. So a large portion of the employees took the resignation and then went to Twitter, spoke out against it, and caused like a big scene about how bad of a boss he is, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. I think one of those lead dudes or architects of Twitter or something went on there and basically said, I get Twitter a week before this shit crashed or some shit like that.
Well, it was either Friday or Saturday. It had to have been Friday night because I was still here. Friday night, like all the employees were trying to make it sound like it's going to be done tonight.
Yeah,
like tomorrow you might wake up and Twitter is gone.
Right.
In the midst of it, Elon's posting that we've got the highest engagement on Twitter since whatever the last time frame was.
You're participating on the app.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because
next morning
on
comes.
Twitter, everybody was just like posting old moments on Twitter from back in the day all day. That's what everybody
What's your
was doing.
favorite tweet or something? It was
Your
like
favorite shit
sharing
that
shit
happened
from
on Twitter. Just
2014.
mad shit from back 2012, 08, back then. When Twitter was first popping.
Yeah,
But then after that, nothing happened, of course. Everything kept going smoothly.
Right.
They apparently have like a very small fraction of the employees that they used to have, and they're still able to keep things up and running the last couple of days.
That's because the employees weren't doing shit. Yo,
son.
I've seen a TikTok of there's like a TikTok that they're just trolling the internet or whatever. From a Twitter employee at like her day in the life, work with me at Twitter today type shit, and she wasn't doing shit all day. She's like, well, now I'm going to go get my breakfast, and then I'll stop and talk to my friend, and then I'll go into the break room and get my coffee. Yeah, just kicking it all day. Then I'll step over here, I'll take a nap, and then we'll have a meeting, and that was a really long meeting, so I'll go and get lunch after that. Like, literally, she did nothing work-related the entire time. They weren't doing shit. Like, the amount of work, she could have condensed that into a 30-minute day.
Bro, it's because this is one of these high value, not value. What's the word I'm looking for? Where they raise like an investment or get like an estimate of what the company is worth or some shit like that.
Okay.
Where they're like thought to be very high
Right.
in that regard.
Yeah.
But they're like inflated tech company that's never made any revenue.
Right.
And they're like really in on, let the employees do what they want and have this free thinking environment.
Like
Elon's like, we're going to make this bitch make money.
Right.
You're going to get on board or get off.
Right.
And
I
then
just spent $44 billion on this shit. Some shit about to jump.
Oh, for sure.
Some shit got to jump,
money,
right?
son. But after
So
that
Elon started making moves, boy. He brought that boy Big T back.
he's a wild boy. I love
He brought
Elon
Big
because
T
he
back.
don't care what nobody
And he brought
says.
Kanye back.
He's bringing...
Lifted the ban.
Now there's like hundreds.
For real.
Yeah, there's tons and tons of people that were banned previously. Trump, Kanye were two of the biggest, like, more recent names. But
Farrakhan back on there too?
he was never off.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I didn't either. I actually just saw this, that all they did was removed his verified status. back many years ago.
Oh yeah, that's a whole
when he
nother
was-
thing. People buying them verified statuses now. Y'all been seeing that shit?
I thought
Yeah.
you could
People
have
been
been
making fake. No, you can buy your verification now.
Yeah, I
It's
thought
like
you could
$8 or $20 or something like
I
that.
thought that was already a thing though. Like you could have been did that long.
Now
time
you had to
ago.
apply for verification, and I
Yeah.
think there was like requirements of how many followers you had and all kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
all that stuff was again though, it was just blown out of proportion. He said we're gonna make it $8. He's throwing an idea out there. It
Right.
didn't work, and like the next day he was like, verification is scrapped for now. We'll revisit it in like a month or something after we
So he's just
come
trying
up
some
with
shit.
a better plan.
But it
Yeah,
was like people making real fake accounts and verifying them, like
Right,
making
right.
statements that was like people was believing. I think
Right.
I seen one of them. Somebody made a fake LeBron joint. He was like, "Yeah, I requested my trade. I'm going back home.
saw that.
Kid
I
from
saw that
Akron or
shit.
some shit like that." That
saw
shit looked
that.
legit because they had the verification on it. I was like, "That was crazy."
yeah.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, Twitter's wild right now because of all the transition and stuff. But I think
been
they are
hilarious.
really trying to make it seem like it's worse than it is, while Elon just continues to laugh in their face. I love it.
Yeah,
I really do.
I mean,
It's
thus
funny.
far everything Elon is on is taken off. So I would expect Twitter to do the same thing in the future. I don't think you can kill Twitter. So I mean, that's what at this point is to tweet is a verb. It's like, you know, it's part of the English action and language. Like, so that's where you're going to run to when you have thoughts on a situation and stuff like that. It's not necessary. You run to Instagram if you got a picture you want to post. You run to Twitter if you got some shit you want to fucking say and get it out to everybody. That's just how it is. So I don't see that dying. I don't see a replacement for that right now.
No, I don't either. If the only thing it was going to take it out is like literally that night, if the servers were unable to handle whatever they needed to because they've got so few employees like working on the back end. I
Right.
could have seen that being something that actually like
You know,
was
it
a
don't
major
take
detriment,
the
but it's not
servers do
going
all the
away.
work. It don't take a lot of employees to.
not like they're
imagine.
manually holding it together.
Yeah, this is not the fucking 1940s where you dial the operator type thing and they got to plug you in. You know, can you have me reach the hospital? And they you know, it's just you don't have those type of things going on anymore. It's like everything's automated. So
Yeah.
I would imagine that those people are only really around for when the servers are not performing or working as they should be, and then that's when you have to go in there. But otherwise, it's smooth sailing, I would imagine. But you know, maybe I'm
Go
wrong.
get you a coffee.
Right.
Go to
That's what I'm
lunch.
saying. You weren't doing shit before. Like we use this FTE. It's like full time employee or whatever. Like how many FTEs are you actually putting into it? And he probably measured that out. Like, hey, we only really require this amount of people to do the job. Because I mean, most of these people are only working an hour out of that 8-hour day or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, actually putting in work at that time. So
Right. I assume over the next couple of months there will be, now that all the people that didn't want to be there are gone, there's going to be a lot of people that get hired that are like, yeah, I'm ready to do whatever Elon wants me to. And
Yeah.
you refill those old roles, and it is what it is. Keep it moving.
yeah.
hell yeah.
We'll never know the difference.
Should be alright.
What's up with football this week, man? I told y'all I was traveling the majority of the day, Sunday and stuff, so I didn't catch a lot of these games. But we got 20, 25 minutes. What are the games y'all want to get into?
Man, the Patriots and the Jets game was an awful fucking crazy game, though.
Crazy
3-3
ending.
the entire game.
Bro, we had the boy Zach Wilson locked up.
Well, Zach Wilson's trash, though.
Is he trash now? You accepting that he's
I
trash?
I was going to ask you
I mean,
about
to this point, he's been trash, though. He's not been a good player.
They
I've
averaged
just seen-
they averaged 2 inches a play,
I saw that shit on Twitter.
like a little over 2
That's
inches
crazy.
a play. Negative 21 passing yards for the second half. Nuts.
I'm just now seeing, like, over the last 2 weeks, it feels like the entire narrative of Zach Wilson has completely changed. Like, all of the guys that were like, yeah, we just need some time kind of stuff, it's getting harder to defend. Is that where you're at as well?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's getting harder to defend it because he's not, like, it's okay to have, like, those growing pain moments and stuff like that, but he's not really, the only time he really showed flashes of being a capable quarterback was, well, I guess he's probably showing more flashes than that, but like consistency anyway was the second half of the Steelers game. He made some really, really good throws consistently in that game to kind of seal the win. But I mean, so far he's completing 55% of his passes. That's just awful. He's only got 1,200 yards. He's played a lot of games. Got 4 touchdowns and 5 picks. Which, I mean, that's not...
Just no stats.
It's just for somebody who's playing a lot of football and in your second season.
In meaningful games right now.
Right. And you're in your second season, you would expect like that second year jump to occur for a quarterback at a certain point. And it hasn't happened. Maybe he's still a pretty young player. So, maybe is to come in the future, because I do think he's talented, but talent isn't everything, There's other stuff that goes around. He's just been trash. I think what was his stats yesterday specifically?
9 for 22 for like 70 yards or something. I just looked at it.
Right. So I mean, let me
just
see.
say what it is, bro.
You got a 40%.
We still own the Jets.
I mean, I'm saying you got a 40% completion percentage. Come on, that's just it doesn't get worse than that. That's his second game finishing, or I guess both times that he's played against the Patriots, he finished with a 40% completion percentage. So they're certainly not helping him out when he plays against them. But he's not doing himself any favors either. He's just not putting together great performances overall.
But it just stands out so much worse when the Jets have always been a bad franchise, but the new coach seems to be killing it. Their defense seems to be killing it. Like all of the other aspects of the team are rising, and he's the one that's bringing them down. Do you think they should be going to Flacco at any point now, while they are still legitimately in a playoff?
I just don't care what they do at this point.
Yeah, I bet you
we
don't.
sweep them. We're done with them for the year. Get them out of here. But I don't know what they're gonna do. They got to do something about it. I don't think putting Flacco in is going to change too much.
I don't think it changes a lot because I don't think he's any good. But like, if you're a legitimate playoff contender, at least.
I mean, yeah, right now,
you said they are. Got to be better than what he just did.
That's true indeed.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume. I don't think Flacco's the guy. They probably should have made some kind of trade or something at the deadline. But I mean, who you gonna really trade for at this point?
Out there to get.
Yeah. I don't know.
Pick up Geno. They ain't let Geno go.
Yeah, I mean, Geno will be great for him right now. Honestly, there'll probably be a game.
Bring Geno back to the Jets would be crazy.
But yeah, I mean, they're I think you just gotta let them play it out. As rough as that sounds right now, I get that you're on the cusp of getting into the playoffs, but
our whole division might make the playoffs.
But let's be real about
this. Is nuts.
But let's just be real about that though. Like, I think as an organization, you gotta look at it and say, if we play Joe Flacco and we get into the playoffs, what the fuck are we gonna do? We're not gonna win a playoff game, though. I mean, it's good to get in there, I guess, but you don't want to. You got to play the guy you invested in, and hopefully
one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
In the playoffs, he's legitimate statistically.
So why would you think he win the playoffs with Flacco?
That was like 10 years ago, bro. A legitimate 10 years ago when he did that. I'm not counting on that to happen again. But you got to let your first round pick play it out. You started him now. At this point, you can't take him off the field unless he's like literally throwing the game away to the other team.
What do you call 9 for 22 for 70 yards?
He didn't throw any picks like that, though, did he?
No, he didn't.
Yeah, so I mean,
he threw 3 last time he played. He's got 4 touchdowns and 5 picks on the year. That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's not awful though. I mean, that statistic alone, as completion percentages, I'm more concerned about the completion percentage than the touchdown to
it's
interception
all the
ratio.
Same shit. It is what it is. I don't disagree with you. If they stick with him, I understand it. It'd be hard to be in the locker room watching us lose every day because of that guy. And then when he gets asked, do you think you let the defense down? And he says no.
That's a terrible answer.
Get him the fuck out of here. Give me Flacco.
You scored 3 points.
Yeah.
I would sit there and say he should have said we definitely let our defense down. They played a great game. As an offense, as a quarterback, we got to be better. We got to score more points. That is the answer you give every time. I don't care if you scored 30 points. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's the answer you stunting if you won a little bit, but have some awareness, son.
Yeah, right. You scored 3 points out there, and you had a 40% completion percentage.
And we kind of buried the lead. The crazy part of the game is y'all end that shit off a fucking punt return with 80-something yards.
I didn't watch none of that game. It wasn't on.
Good for you.
I was following it. I just seen it was 3-3 all the time. Like, I'm not missing shit. It's obviously going to come down to a field goal win is what it's looking like. Game comes on because I forgot what game was on. That was a blowout. They took off the TV. They turned the game on the last drive. I think the Jets had the ball, whatever. Words talking shit in the chat. We're gonna lose 6-3. I'm like, no.
I thought it was a possibility.
Defense got this shit on lock. We ain't about to give up these 3 points right now.
Last play of the fucking game.
It's crazy. So.
Last play of the fucking game is a punt.
Big punt. That boy Marcus Jones caught that joint.
Is he a monster?
He got hurt early in the game, and then he came back or some shit like that, which I thought was funny as hell to the story. Caught that joint. I saw him start to take off. He broke a couple tackles. I was like, oh shit, he about to take this shit back, yo. That shit cleared up. He took that shit to the house. I was hyping this joint.
As soon as he hit the sideline, it was
didn't know. They said when it happened that was the first punt return of the season for any team.
I heard that today.
I thought they were just talking about us. Like, I know we ain't had no punt returns.
Right.
Like, I thought it was just us, but to know that was the first punt return of the season was crazy, and for it to happen as a game-winning play is even crazier. But hey, got that dub.
That's bad coaching.
3-game winning streak, baby.
That's bad coaching.
Well, from what I heard, I was listening to some Bill Simmons. He's a big Patriots fan. He was saying that this dude is like a nasty returner.
Yeah,
he was saying he's almost broke a couple of them this year. If that's the case, there's no reason put that out of bounds.
No, it's no reason to punt it to him anyway.
It was like 15
regardless
seconds,
of who it could be fucking Haloti Nata back there. It could be Vita Vea, yeah, back there catching the fucking punt. You don't punt it to him. You don't give him the opportunity.
I'm punting it to those guys.
To pop. You don't. I'm just saying.
Nah, you wild.
And theoretically,
you're a bad coach.
You don't give them the opportunity to make a play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To make it look stupid.
To put it in perspective, there have been 17 punts in that game. Nothing had happened in those 17 punts in the game.
But why even put yourself up for that risk, though, when you don't have to?
Yeah, well, there had also been 150 plays without a touchdown or some shit like that, too.
That's true, too.
Kick it out of bounds at the 10 and make them go 90 yards in 6 seconds. They're going to take that knee and go to overtime.
Anywhere.
Right.
Yeah. That's better than they probably wouldn't have got a snap. I tell them kick it as high as you can.
Yeah.
Put as much hang time.
I appreciate it though.
We need a 5-second hang time. Give them 3 seconds. It don't even have to travel far. The punt can go fucking 30 yards. It doesn't matter. That's it. You know, at that point, just punt it out of bounds with high hang time, and you don't have to worry about it. It's just I think that at that moment that's bad coaching. Robert Saleh's done a great job up until that point. But I mean,
unless the punter just didn't listen, I don't know.
It's possible.
It's possible, but a bad play either way. I'm 100% with you.
He housed that bitch. I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
3-game winning streak, 6-4, third in the division.
Nasty wins, but to get
behind
you
Buffalo and Miami, both 7-3.
Hey, shout out to the defense, man. Pats, they
defense been elite all season.
Yeah, they got a great group. They coach really well, and Bill Belichick is a defensive minded coach, and it shows every week that they're out there on the field.
Of course.
Mike Tomlin, defensive-minded coach. It does not show every week that the Steelers are on the field.
Thought he was giving you a compliment. Just looking for a transition so he can talk about the Steelers.
I've seen it set up.
Hey, we got like 10 minutes left, so we're going to eat up half with the Steelers. Going ahead.
I'm just saying, I really don't have that much to say on the game.
Beautiful.
Except for the fact it's just one of those another things of adding to my case of why Tomlin should be fired. I think he's a good football coach. He's had a good career, a Hall of Fame career, honestly. But at this point, I think his time should be coming to an end as the Steelers head coach. It's just what you're branded as. Your team has not. The product hasn't been that. You allow 37 points. You allow Jamar Chaseless offense to score 37 points. You allow T. Higgins to go off for 150 yards or something like that. Good. Samaje Perine, and he's not out there for the players or whatever and stuff like that. But it's some of the concepts with the scheme are bad. You allow your offense to be stagnant and poor pretty much all year. It's the first time we scored 30 points all year. It's the first time we actually had a touchdown over 10 yards prior to this game.
Yeah, I thought
the longest touchdown of the season was 7 or 8 yards that the Steelers
had. Had a 19-yard touchdown. That was the longest of the season. I was like, what?
Which I mean, and he's had back-to-back really, really good weeks. Running the ball, he's looked really good, but still the offense hasn't been successful. Some of that's Kenny Pickett, some of that's the play calling. Even though I think Kenny's getting better, but But the Bengals linebacker legitimately said after the game, like they asked him about the first half. The Steelers scored 20 points in the first half, which is like an anomaly. And they struggled to score 20 points in the entire game. And he's like, yeah, once we settled in and, they just run the same plays over and over again. So it's just, and that's what they do. The Steelers, we don't switch it up. We don't dress it up any different. We come out in the same formation pretty much and run the same plays. And again, Tomlin is allowing it to happen. So I think he should get the boot.
I think he should too.
I think you're doing Tomlin a little
Welcome
dirty
to
off
Charlotte,
having one
baby.
bad season.
Huh?
I think you doing
It's not
Tomlin
one
a little
bad
dirty
season.
off one bad season.
It's not
It's
one
crazy.
bad season, though.
You may have good points, but I do think this is another one of these Roethlisberger situations that I was talking to you earlier about, where you've just always had great things.
That's true too.
And once they're not great, it's like, yo, let's get something else. But having a bad Tomlin is not as bad as having the majority of the other coaches in the NFL.
I don't disagree with that, but sometimes it's just time for something new. That's just what it is. Hats off to the Eagles for doing that.
Making the move on
from Doug Peterson,
yeah,
and moving on from him, and
Sirianni looking good.
Yeah, and it took a couple years for it to happen, but look, sometimes you got to make that move. And I think of course, Mike Tomlin's a much better coach than Doug Peterson, but at the same time, he wasted a lot of Ben Roethlisberger's prime years and Antonio Brown's prime years with terrible defenses. When we had arguably the most explosive offense in the league at that time, and Tomlin's team wasn't up to brand. His defensive minded unit or what he was supposed to put out there on the field wasn't what was represented during those times. So at this point, I don't have any more defense for Mike Tomlin or the
Neither
Steelers.
does he.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't. You're right. There you go.
We got time for like one more game. Which one do you want to pick?
Oh, shit, that's a good question.
I don't know. Let me see here. Which was the highlighted game? Well, of course, the Cowboys stomped out the fucking
8-1 Vikings.
The Vikings, man.
Minnesota fans got to be feeling scared right now.
Yeah, hell yeah, especially because Thanksgiving coming up and we play them next.
Oh, they should feel a little bit better about that, but no, I'm just kidding. I heard that they're 8-2 though. They have a negative point differential, which is just insane to even imagine being possible.
Yeah, it's kind of
that
crazy.
means you got smizacked.
Yeah,
in both of your losses and haven't been winning by much. They're 8-2. Can't hate on them too much, but if I was a Minnesota fan, I wouldn't feel too confident right now.
it's crazy. This last week we was calling them real. Now they back fake again after getting
real
quick. Blown out.
It's just when they play good teams, it doesn't go well.
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
true.
good.
I mean,
what was the game last night? KC versus the Chargers. What was the final?
Yeah, I think that one finished 30-27.
Yeah,
that was a good one. That one was.
I just don't get how Travis Kelce keeps doing it, man.
It's just insanity, son.
he just
He had 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns, 115 yards.
Just passed him.
Just passed Gronk in 100-yard games. 33 of them. Just a pass Gronk.
Sheesh.
It's a big move. Like I think we said that at the beginning of the year. I was like, when we was asking who would be the best offense, he keeps playing with Mahomes. He's going to surpass Gronk and all the shit that he got.
Yeah, because I mean,
how old is
Gronk? He's actually pretty old because he played with Alex Smith for quite some time.
He did. I forgot.
I was thinking of him in like a 31-32 range, but I don't know if that's accurate.
I think that should be around
33.
Okay, yeah, around there. So he probably got a couple more years, but it just doesn't look like he's dropped off. Every year it looks like he gets better, or at least still consistent. And it's not like his game is speed.
Right.
It's not.
And he don't get injured that much.
He don't. He plays
That's
every
thing.
week.
That's the part that will likely change as he gets a little bit older, but if it doesn't, he's going to blow those numbers out of the water.
Keep running it up.
Yeah.
Once the Chargers took the lead, it was like a minute 45 seconds left or something. There was like 0% chance that KC wasn't going to win that game.
Yeah, right.
Mahomes was going to get that touchdown.
Right. They just do that shit every time.
So easy.
Yeah, and you just know it too. It's like, who's going to stop him here?
Nobody. You knew it.
Well, on the season, he got
he just passed Devontae then for most touchdowns in the league. He got 11.
Who's that?
Kelsey got 11 touchdowns on the season.
11 touchdowns,
Probably
almost 900 yards.
A little bit at the Raiders game, and
Almost
Devontae
70
got
receptions.
his ninth And he was leading the league.
In the overtime.
With 9, yeah.
They left that motherfucker wide open in
bro.
overtime.
He cooked Sertan.
Like a 60-yard
He cooked Sertan that whole game, for real.
Yeah,
I seen a few clips he was cooking his ass.
He put up like $160 or something?
Yeah.
Sertan's
he was cooking his ass.
Lockdown, too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's not a good matchup for him.
Why you say that?
For Sertan. I wouldn't.
I would imagine Devontae's not a good matchup for anybody.
For
but
right.
The list of guys that he had locked down up until this point in the year, I don't remember who was on it, but it was a crazy list.
Right.
So to see him get toasted this way is wild.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was any elite route runners on that list that were also like supreme pass catchers as well too. So I mean,
you got wild criteria.
Right. I'm just saying. I just feel like that's a guy you always double, regardless of. Especially if Sertan was like in year 6 and was like a proven Pro Bowl corner,
right.
We can leave him on the island fine. But now it's like this dude's a second-year player who got hurt his first season. Definitely, I don't think that's a good matchup for him to be singled up all game.
Well, and as many injuries as the Raiders have, there's no other weapons to not double Devontae.
Right, don't let him beat you. You know what I'm saying?
Why
like, come on.
You put
exactly. We can't be stubborn or like, I mean, not. You want to be confident in your players, but don't be stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's
what I think it is.
Because a lot of times he was cooking them, it was just him on them.
Right.
Once he cooked him, he was wide open after that. It's like, that don't even make no sense.
He wasn't within 10 yards of him on that touchdown.
Yeah, that last one was crazy.
He got turned around. It was bad.
That last one was crazy.
I haven't even
to not have nobody over the top on the last play, some shit like that, shit was crazy. But
that's more.
They needed that win
from your boy though, the coach of the year, right?
Hackett.
Yeah,
he's not gonna make it till next year for sure.
Yeah,
he's definitely fired at the end of the year if he makes it that long.
Denver's just in a shit show right now, man.
The one thing I think
now they both have the same record, 3-7.
If you're a Denver fan, you might feel a little bit better in that how bad Hackett has been.
Right.
It's like maybe Russ isn't as bad as we think if he had a coach at all. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what I would tell myself if I was a fan. It's all Hackett's fault.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what you would try to lean.
You gotta hold on to hope
in that direction, but
it's probably not true. But
it's bad.
It's worth a shot.
I didn't think you think the Giants are gonna take a fall in the second half of the season?
I don't think they're that good.
They got thumped.
I think they did a good job of beating teams they were supposed to beat until this week. But they lost another receiver. I don't even know who it was, but somebody else is done for the year.
I did see that. I forgot his name. Yeah, he is out.
There's just no way they can beat teams with only Daniel Jones and Saquon. There's no way.
Well, yeah, especially when Saquon's rushing for 22 yards on 15 carries.
That's crazy. The Lions have a terrible run defense.
22 yards on 15 carries.
That's nuts. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. And they got the Cowboys on Thanksgiving.
Oh, they're going to get
not looking
smacked.
good. It's not looking good for them.
You know what I mean?
Somebody had to fall off out that division. Couldn't all three of them be up like that?
Agreed. Honestly, the Redskins are starting to look a little bit better. They play the Texans, don't get me wrong, but coming off of the Eagles win, you expect a little bit of a letdown, and they just took care of business. I think they're 5-5 now, too.
Yeah, Wentz shouldn't play again, right?
He got benched, I don't think. They said Heineke's a starter from here on.
I mean, I would assume.
Yeah, he was healthy for this week.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he didn't even dress. They didn't even dress once.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, he was inactive. That's why I thought he was hurt initially. Did y'all talk about Jeff Saturday being the coach? Yeah.
What are your thoughts, though? I mean, we didn't get to hear your part.
I mean, I think it's certainly. I mean, you know what it is. He hired his homeboy.
He almost They almost beat the Eagles. If they would have beat the Eagles on his first two games,
I would say, you know,
he might be the best interim
it's only
coach of all time.
A couple games, but they seem like they're playing inspired at least. So
Jonathan Taylor is good again.
Yeah,
in the 2 weeks he's been good again. It's like
and
that's a clear
right. And I would say he came in and he made the right decision to put Matt Ryan back at quarterback.
That was cool.
I mean, that was the right decision. You watch Sam Ellinger go out there and play like, yo, we can't win.
Have you seen what we did to that rookie?
Yeah.
Before he came, you shouldn't put him back. On the field.
We can't put this guy back out there.
You can't put him back out
there.
there.
So I mean, that was smart, and I mean, I respect him for the job he's done thus far, but I do think he doesn't deserve the opportunity necessarily. I mean, I think both can be true.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
It's not worth getting into. He has proven himself a little bit. I did hear Cowher was praising him this week. Boy, he lit into him the week before.
Yeah,
did you see
disgusting.
that? He went so hard, and I agree with all his points.
Right.
He had really good points and stuff. I thought he did a good job with what he said, but I heard he gave it up to him.
Like they got legitimate guys on that staff that could have stepped up, like former head coaches that could have stepped up and done the job on the interim level.
Did you hear McAfee's response?
Oh no.
McAfee went nuts after that week 1. And I want to say he said Cowher by name, and a couple of other people just, that's his boy too.
Right, that's his man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they was on the team together for a long time.
I don't know. Pat. He's good.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
good at
sure,
speaking. It was funny. He had a lot of good points. I can't remember if he said it or somebody else, but they were like, "Have you heard about the other coaches that were on the staff?" Talking about John Fox, and he listed off other previous head coaches. Like, you don't want none of these motherfuckers to coach on the team.
Well, I think that was what Irsay was saying, is that this guy can coach without fear or whatever because he doesn't have that baggage, from coaching previously and stuff like that. And that's, I guess that's a fair point or whatever.
I think that's a terrible point.
Whatever, if you're looking at it from his view, maybe he's just scarred when it comes to this kind of stuff here recently. Yeah. So maybe he's just trying something different. Okay, whatever. But I guess we'll see how it works out. But again, I think of course he did skip some levels. Apparently, his high school football team that he was coaching went 3-7. So that's all I'm saying is
he's terrible.
He's not proven on any level that he could do this job.
There's no way you could deny that he skipped levels. Like if you're arguing that part, you're not even being realistic.
Right, and I mean, and people act like, all right. Like, oh, this is a guy who knows football. It's like, yeah, everybody who's playing football knows football. That doesn't mean they're qualified to be a coach.
Right.
It's true. I do think Jeff Saturday is a really smart guy. You got to be a smart person to be that level of center that he was for his entire career. So I certainly think he understands defense and offense and stuff like that. But it's just different. And, putting together a game plan and stuff. You're good at executing one, not putting together one and leading men and stuff like that. But I guess. To be determined. We'll see.
We will.
Yes, indeed.
Anything else, Moss?
A few little small topics. Well, that Taylor Swift topic was kind of crazy. I hear about her ticket sales.
Taylor Swift?
Yeah, the Ticketmaster.
They was reselling for like $20,000.
$20,000.
$20,000 a ticket.
Yeah, I could believe it. Honestly, that's
that's
a bit
insane.
Outrageous.
That's insane.
But she's a huge artist.
But there's way more to it. Like that wasn't.
That's not.
There was some kind of massive problems with Ticketmaster and shit, and people were not able to get tickets, and then people were buying them, doing the resale thing like you do with sneakers.
They was treating them like Yeezy shoes.
It's a disaster from what I've seen.
Holding them motherfuckers hostage.
Yeah.
I wish I would have got one.
$20,000 tickets. Yeah, if I'd have known, this would have been a great investment.
Right, for sure.
The M.A.C could have came up, son.
Yeah. A girl said some woman she worked with was trying to get tickets for her and her daughter or some shit like that, and she had got them for cheap at first, and then she seen people reselling them for like thousands of dollars, and she went to try to do it, and they send you a tax form out the gate for when you try to resell the joints. Like, we're gonna get our shit off of this out the gate because how much money you can make off of them joints, but that shit is crazy.
Yeah,
they cut off public sales to it because the resales was so crazy.
I saw that.
That's nuts.
I didn't pay a lot of attention to the details. I just didn't care. But I saw a lot of news stories like Ticketmaster's response, her response. It apparently was a thing.
It's crazy how much we pay to see these people.
Not us.
I never would. I wouldn't even cross. My favorite person in the entire world could be performing, and I wouldn't give a fuck for that amount.
I wouldn't pay like $200.
I definitely wouldn't.
Not like on a regular occasion.
It about to come with some shit, like all inclusive. They about to come with some shit if I'm paying $200.
I don't even have a name in mind, but if I had like an all-time favorite artist and they were doing like a final tour or something, and it's coming around my birthday, I might say, "Fuck it, we spending $250. I'm gonna go to this."
Right.
But in general, I wouldn't pay.
No
like,
lie, they could say Tupac is alive and doing his last show, and I wouldn't pay $200.
Biggie's about to have a show.
Probably wouldn't.
Was the
metaverse?
Real talk, yeah. It's in the metaverse. It's a VR show.
Fuck the metaverse.
Biggie and like a whole lineup with it.
Yeah, I'm not with any of that.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
That's what shit is going to, bro.
Interesting.
That's what shit is going to right now. Virtual concerts.
Yeah, I'm not interested in any of that shit. Especially if I gotta pay something for it. It better be free.
Yeah, for a virtual experience.
Yeah.
I think it is though.
It should be.
It is a free concert.
I mean,
For
that
now.
I would,
For now.
but I just imagine it being awful. It's just like, why wouldn't I just watch a Biggie video? That seems, this is the real Biggie.
It's a good enough point as well.
I'm interested.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd like to see how
I
that
said,
play
what's the
out.
point of watching something virtual perform?
When they put, it's just,
I mean, because he's not alive.
it's just an interesting.
But so you can go watch this video. It's not like if you want the Biggie experience, you can still get it. You can watch an old Biggie concert. So like that's the real Biggie.
But it's
It's
just
the same songs. It's not like he making anything new.
That's not what people are interested in. It's just a new, interesting experience.
Yeah,
I guess
Like when
right.
they did the Travis Scott concert in Fortnite.
Yeah.
Just like I don't actually care about that. But when I saw the story, I was like, yo, this is wild. And it was like kind of cool just to see what was going on. I think it's just excitement. That's all.
Yeah, right.
That's true.
But I'm just saying how stupid this shit actually is.
Nah, it is dumb.
Fucking
100%.
retarded.
100%.
But yeah, whatever.
Funny shit. Oh damn, I forgot about that Giannis. That Giannis shit. Did y'all see that clip?
I had that written down too.
How y'all feel about that? Giannis was they just got their ass whooped in Philly. I think he had missed like 11 free throws or something.
Shot 4 for 15 from the line.
Missed 11 free throws. So he was trying to get him some free throw shots up after the game. I think it started, he was shooting his free throws, and then Montrezl Harrell came over there and like got the rebound and took the ball from him, like, it's my ball type shit.
Yep.
Tried to kick him off the court. So he went on the other side, and Montrezl started shooting with the ball. So Giannis went it back and got another ball and came back out. So then they was putting the ladder up. I guess the people working at the game to do something with the nets or the rim or something.
Taking the camera off.
They was taking the camera off or something. All right. They was putting the ladder up, and Giannis trying to, tell y'all to get out the way. They moved right back as soon as they told him to get out the way. He went over there and pushed the ladder down. And people going all crazy about it. I mean, how y'all feel about that shit?
I mean, what did people go crazy about? What did they say?
I mean, because how he was snapping on the workers that was there, like, you know what I'm saying? Basically mushed them out the way. Well, he ain't mushed them. He mushed the ladder out the way, but...
I have no issue with what he did. You saw me taking shots over here, bitch.
Right.
What the fuck you think I'm doing with a basketball at this goal?
It's just
You saw me taking fucking shots over here.
I think it's more so because we don't never see Giannis have these type of reactions with people.
Yeah.
So people just like, oh shit, Giannis is a real person.
This is just the interneting for no reason.
Yeah,
it's just something to talk about.
Yeah.
I think his frustration is with Montrezl coming over there. Who the fuck are you to tell me to stop shooting? And then he ultimately takes it out on the employees trying to push the ladder in front. But clearly it's just somebody pissed off because they sucked that night.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. Who cares?
That's all it is.
Yeah, it sucks losing like that, especially when you know.
15, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine how pissed he was after the game. But that's what you're supposed to do, though. Like that's what shows me that Giannis is just gonna be around for a long time. It's just he's sitting there working on his craft after a bad game. It's some guys that will go and just be like, oh well, I had a bad game. It's all good.
And ain't nothing wrong with that neither.
It's not, but I'm just saying, like
that extra effort
he taking it to another level. It's the guy that everybody else going to the club and shit like that after he's still working on his game. It's that Kobe mentality type.
He's like real life ball is life.
Right.
The embodiment of that for real.
He can't sleep until he get this shit done type thing.
I gotta get this out.
Like, it's another level that he's tapped into. So I respect that.
Or after missing on free throws, coach is like, get your ass back out there.
I wish Coach would tell Giannis.
I need 1,000 free throws tonight. Get your ass out there.
Ain't no coach that can tell a player to do that. Tell you that.
Not Giannis for sure.
Yeah. Or any player. They probably make more money than the coaches do.
Probably. They do.
So it's like, no, bro, my night is over with. I don't know if you knew that. Y'all ain't paying me no extra, so I'm going home. That's probably what most people would say.
I'm only getting this $17 million for my 8 points and 6 rebounds that I provide. You are right, but I'm just saying it's just crazy.
Yeah, right. That's how it is, bro. Clock out. I know. I just recently watched a clip of Iverson talking about him and shit. You're like, man, I mean, the difference between me and Kobe is just that. Like we going out in the club and shit. Kobe is literally in the gym.
Iverson was outside.
Yeah, he's like, yo, Kobe literally, like, that's what made him different from everybody. Like,
I swear you were about to tell us about the practice rant like we had never heard about it before.
I did too for a second. Yeah, he was talking about practice and shit. Like,
I mean, I guess it's along those same lines, but he was like, it's like a recent podcast or whatever. I keep seeing the clip of where he's just talking about like Kobe Bryant specifically, and like, hey, we was legit going out to the club and shit, and Kobe was like, when we're coming in from the club, Kobe drenched in sweat and shit. Talk about he just got off the floor. I'm like, yo, I'm looking at this dude like, yo, he's
Was
legit
that
crazy.
That Redeem Team doc?
I don't know. I don't know. So I think it was on a podcast.
That was a part of that on that joint. We were supposed to talk about that. That was like weeks ago.
Yeah, never
might have been that. Might have been.
Yeah, but it was a joint in there. It was talking about that. He was Melo and Wade and all them was coming back in the hotel room, and Kobe was coming off the elevator in his basketball shit about to go work out. He was like 3-4. Where the hell are you going? Gonna go fucking work out.
Different levels of shit, man.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, anything else we ended up going over? So, if you have anything else you want to say or talk about,
Let me see.
I don't think I'm.
What I got. I don't think I got nothing crazy, man. Thought I had some funny topics.
What you got?
Nas video dropped. Chris Brown shit. That shit was fucked up. Oh, Charleston White put out a diss track on T.I.
I seen that, man. I'ma shut that shit down. Shut that shit down. Shut that shit down.
So guess what? Do the visitation. We need somebody to get these drugs in. Do the visitation. Bigger than T.I. Yeah.
It's the dance, though. It's the dance. That's hilarious.
And I blew past. Do the visitation. Do the visitation. So guess what? Do the visitation.
That joint called I'm the Police. That's funny, bro. It's funny shit, man.
Terrible.
What's going on?
See the next trap house. I'm gonna shut that shit down. Call the police. Call the police or some shit. It's just a bunch of that,
boy.
Pretty much. He ain't really rapping or nothing. He just
good.
But it's the little dance that he's doing. It's funny.
I ain't see the dance.
I've been seeing it on TikTok. This dude, I'm like, yo, this dude is the best internet troll that ever existed. He just really is.
He's good at what he does. I think I've grown tired of it.
Oh, I mean,
just hasn't caught my attention.
My fault.
I don't grow tired of it just because, like, I get like the funny antics and stuff like that. But then, like, if you actually see who he is as a person, you're like, oh, he's a good person. Like, he's a good dude. And,
I don't ever get them clips.
Oh well, I mean, you guys.
I don't see none of the good person clips.
Oh, well, you guys see, like he's actually a community activist. He actually helps juveniles, and like he actually goes to like his city councils and stuff like that and speaks, and like he makes a lot of sense about when he actually you get him on a real topic about what's going on in the inner cities in America and stuff like that. The stuff he says, he's a very sensible person. Like he got a lot of experience and wisdom and stuff like that. It's just mixed in with a lot of the antics and stuff. That's it.
I think that makes the trolling worse.
Yeah.
Like to a certain extent, when he first was starting trolling and stuff, at least from what I saw, I don't know. It was just more. He was just like going at rappers that were. Whatever was going on at that moment, he would kind of comment on it and give his opinion. Right. Now he's kind of like inserted him into having this back and forth with T.I. and every time somebody comments, it's like, oh, what did Charleston White say? I think it takes away from like being an actual, trying to have an impact at all.
Well, I mean, I don't think
full shock job.
Well, I don't think his concern is he's just really concerned about impacting his community. So it's like that's why he's saying like none of my people in my community believe this shit because they know the real person. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know this shit is just a game for me or whatever. Like, everybody in my community respects me still and stuff like that. Like, so I think that's, like, what he's concerned about. He's not really worried about, like, the world's view of him type thing necessarily. Like, he's not necessarily trying to, like, wake up the youth or disseminate. Like, he's just doing the shit within his community, starting off small and stuff like that. Like, the actual message that he's doing. So, I mean, I say I respect him for that. I do.
I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else? We're going to wrap it up?
Yeah, we'll wrap it up.
Words of wisdom?
None.
I'm going to hit y'all with my sample then.
None this week.